Back so soon? You know, another one of my favorite moments at CBC over the past couple years was back in 2017. We faced off against Vianney for the MCC championship title. Let's take a look back at that game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Cadet Student Network's broadcast of CBC football. We have got a good one for you here, coming to you live from the Tim Kylo broadcast booth here at W. Michael Ross 66 Stadium at CBC High School. My name is Tom Eichwald. I'll be bringing you the game, and alongside me, Coach Chris Maris. Mr. Maris, great to have you with us.
Great to be here, Tom. It's going to be a great night for football. Beautiful night, two great teams. You know, you can't ask for a better situation.
And in case anybody was wondering what the atmosphere on the field is going to be like tonight, that was answered right before kickoff.
Well, you know, as they're lined up out there for the coin flip.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Decided
Welcome
to go out
the
in
Cadet
center
Student
field
Network's
and
broadcast
kind
of
of
CBC football. We
jump
have
around
got a good
and
one
whatnot,
for
and
you
that
here.
didn't sit too well with
Coming to you live
CBC.
from
So,
the Tim Kylo broadcast booth
you know,
here
we'll
at
see
W.
how
Michael
things
Ross
go
66
here
Stadium
at the start of the game and
CBC
whether or
High
not a
School. My
little
name
bit
is
of
Tom Eichwald. I'll be
gamesmanship
bringing you the game.
ends up favoring
And alongside
Vianney
me,
or
Coach
favoring
Chris Maris.
CBC to start with.
Mr. Maris, great to have you.
Another subplot of the game is Cam Babb in uniform. I don't think he's going to play, but nonetheless, he's dressed out. That might have just been for senior night and for show. But, you know, I know it definitely raised some eyebrows as he walks up and down the sideline in his gear.
And as we come into this game, we have two extremely highly rated teams. The number one team in the area is CBC, and then the number 4 team in the area in Vianney. What has gotten these teams to this point, Coach?
Tremendous work ethic for both teams. These are two teams that do quite a bit in the offseason. Within the confines of what Misha allows them, they use every last minute of every last day that they're allowed to prepare for their season. Vianney caught lightning in the bottle last year after they lost to CBC and has not lost since after winning a state championship at Class 5. And they followed that up. They're undefeated at 8-0, and they're the number 1 ranked team in Class 5 and number 4 in the STL Today Metro rankings.
And when you talk about Vianney, you cannot talk about them without talking about Tyon Harris and the season he is having.
Yeah, you know, with almost 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. That 2 interceptions is huge for him because he's been a dynamic starter for them for 3 years now. He started as a sophomore. But the big thing that's hurt him in years past has been key interceptions. And that's the one thing that he hasn't done. And to go along with 21 touchdowns to go along with that, that shows that he's being efficient in his passing game. But that's not what Vianney wants to do. They want to run the ball behind Kyron Williams and Tyon Harris, 2 dynamic runners with the ball in their hand, and they do really, really wonderful things on offense.
Now let's talk a little bit about CBC. They have had a tremendous run so far, 1 loss coming out of state against Christian Brothers Memphis. But really, your assessment of the season so far as we prepare for our last regular season contest?
Well, it's been one of growth. CBC returned a lot on offense. They were expected to be an explosive offensive team, and they haven't disappointed. The growth has been on defense, where if you look at their score, the box scores, week in and week out, they gave up 28, 27, 19, 14, and then 7. They gave up 15 in a mop-up situation against Jeff City. And then they went to traditional power, Kansas City Rockhurst, and on their big Hall of Fame night only gave up 3 points in an away game to a very, very talented Rockhurst team. And so the defensive adjustments that they've made, getting young personnel to step up and play into their roles, has been a tremendous asset for CBC at this point.
And you talk about the Rockhurst game, a little bit of history for CBC as well. At the end of the first quarter, Coach Scott Pingle will be honored. That was his 100th win at CBC, that win at Rockhurst. And he is really making some history as a CBC coach. He now trails only Brian Haggerty for total wins in a career. With 100 wins, the win percentage up over 83.
120 with an 83 win percentage. He has the highest winning percentage of any coach, the second most wins. And I think now he's second in the number of seasons coached as well. Tied with Bill Gerdeman, for the second most seasons coached.
So a lot of history being made for CBC. We have the head coaches out there being talked to by the officials. We have to imagine this has something to do with the display we saw before kickoff that had both teams riled. Again, Vianney going right to the CBC for pregame warmups, which did not sit well with the CBC crowd, bench, or coaches. So we will certainly see. You hope these young men can settle into a game. Emotion is fine, but you definitely want to see them keep it under control. And with the talented coaching staffs we have on both sides, I have to imagine they're going to be preaching control, they're going to be preaching discipline, and they're going to be preaching doing the little things and not getting swept away in the moment.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Vianney would choose to do that, considering since 1999 they are 2-15 against CBC. And now, the one caveat to that, though, they are the last team to beat CBC in an MCC contest back in 2009. Coach Pingle's second year as a head coach, they beat CBC. I think it was 42-35 or something along those lines. And that was the last conference loss. Now, some of you be going, well, what about that playoff game against the Smet? Yeah, but that wasn't a conference game. So CBC is going for an unprecedented number of conference championships in a row with no losses in that time frame.
And we do have the officials with offsetting unsportsmanlike conducts for the pregame mix-up. So the game will start as normal, but just with a couple of bookkeeping notes to add. We do want to let you know that tonight's kickoff, which will come from the foot of the Golden Griffins kicker, is brought to you by TJ's Pizza. TJ's Pizza and Fundraising is again our kickoff sponsor for the 2017 season. You can get a slice of TJ's Pizza from the concession stand at any home CBC game. They also offer an easy fundraising process to help your school, team, or organization raise money by selling delicious pizzas and desserts. You will want to call TJ's at 314-869-9404 for more information. You can also check them out online, tjspizza.com. So as we get set for our cadet kickoff, I want to thank our kickoff sponsor, TJ's Pizza.
This will be interesting. Just Vianney comes in with a lot of confidence, more confidence they've had against CBC in a number of years.
And Jimmy Lehrman going to get us going. He does. That is back taken by CBC. And return man's able to bring it up to about the 23.
Now, on that kickoff, one of the things I would have liked to have seen, that ball was going past Hunter. I would have liked Elijah Robinson to step up and take that ball, as he's the deep guy on that particular play. Generally, you don't have your return guys backing up on anything that's coming past them. Now, the one thing is it was a low-line drive kick, and so that might have played a role in terms of Hunter dropping back to pick that ball up. No disrespect to Hunter. He's a very talented young man, but Elijah Robinson is electric with the ball in his hand.
And now the CBC offense takes the field. Gabbert in the shotgun, backs either side of him. One receiver left side, two to the right. A lot of motion on the Vianney line. Chance Lotz goes in motion. It is a screen to Lotz on the right side, and he is wrapped up immediately. Good tackle there by Vianney. Looked like the tackle came from number 21, Joe Lewis.
So you got a loss of 2 yards on that. That's a situation where Tyler Walton just has to do a better job of setting the block up and just taking that guy where he wants to go. If you do that, you've got a pretty good play right there. That could have been really good for CBC. Ultimately, it's a 2-yard loss.
Same formation, second play here. A lot of space on this near side. The Cadets trying to get an isolated look on Cam Brown. And Gabbert hands it off inside. Good run up the middle there. It looked like Brian Bradford, the Cadets' leading rusher.
So Bradford on the counter play right there, on the misdirection. Big yards, we've seen that a lot from him, and that puts up a nice manageable third down.
Bradford the leader in touchdowns as well as rushing yards. 12 touchdowns on the season, 860 rushes on 9.2 attempts. That is an average of 9.1 yards per run. Gabbert takes it, hands off inside. That is Bradford.
Looks like he's got enough for the first down right there.
That is Bradford again.
One of the great hallmarks of Brian Bradford is his yards after contact. He does a great job of making once he gets hit, keeping his feet moving. On that one, he got tripped up a little bit at his ankles, didn't get to use that physical body, and it is enough for a first down. So, with this no-huddle offense, that's key. The first down is a very, very important play on every drive.
Looks like Gabbert's going to be in the shotgun with Bradford to his right. Cam Brown over here on the near side, Tyler Walton on that far side. And the Cadets, of course, in purple going right to left across your screen. The Griffins in the visiting white, trying to stop him. Gabbert takes a snap, hands off inside to Bradford. Bradford right up the middle. There's a flag coming in. Bradford's going to get maybe two.
Bradford never went down. I was surprised they blew the whistle. His forward momentum wasn't really started. Usually a flag in that situation is a hold. Interesting the way the back judge threw that in there. You like to be a little bit more careful with throwing the flags. We've seen in in years people getting hit with those in the face and stuff, especially throwing it up high. Get it in and around their feet. You can always move it to the spot.
So with that penalty, the Cadets will reset. Personnel looks unchanged, although we got Carson Budemeyer out there. He will set up wide on the left.
Carson might have been up top last time. The one thing that's going to be important is how emotions settle into this game and who handles the emotions better.
So the Cadets loaded up over on this left-hand side with Walton, Budemeyer, and Brown. Snap comes in. Good block in the backfield by Bradford. Throw to Cam Brown. He's got blockers in front of him. Good block by Tyler Walton. Steals the sideline.
He's gone.
Cam Brown is going to take it all the way. That is a touchdown for Cameron Brown.
You cannot give him the edge. You cannot give him an angle to the edge.
And Tyler Walton did a magnificent job of sealing that block on the corner to open up the sideline for Cam Brown, because once he sees it, he is gone. Looks like we've got a penalty after the play.
Here.
I believe we will have, there might have been some extracurriculars.
Well, with the emotions that are going on in this game,
one wouldn't be surprised.
No, and Cam Brown is an extremely emotional guy. And I'm interested to see what this. Coach Pingle's out there talking to the official.
Does he look happy with what he's hearing?
Unsportsmanlike conduct on CBC. That's going to probably be on Cam. He went down the sideline holding up his finger. But you got an emotionally charged crowd. You've got emotionally charged teams.
You've got a team that's just felt disrespected, scoring a touchdown on the first drive. There's a lot of emotion in this game, but the referee's sending an early message that they're not going to tolerate it. They want a good football game within the rules. That's the impression we are getting.
They're gonna assess that on the kickoff, which is kind of a bad situation for CBC because Vianney's extremely skilled. You don't want to give them an extra shot at the ball with the ball in space. And the way Dylan McGraw has been kicking the ball better the last few weeks in terms of his number of touchbacks, you just hope that Larry Williams and that kickoff coverage team can get down there and blow it up.
So Cam Brown with the touchdown. McGraw trying to add the extra point. That will be 2 seniors on the scoreboard for the Cadets so far on senior night. And McGraw puts it through. We did mention senior night. 29 seniors in the CBC football program honored before the game. We'll tell you a little bit about them throughout the broadcast. We have a feeling we'll be using Cam Brown's name throughout the evening. Do want to let you know we've got we're bringing a replay here, and this is a replay of the touchdown. You're going to see the pass come over to the near side. Good blocking in the offensive line. Good mobility by Gabbert. But watch this block from Tyler Walton right in front. That seals the sideline. He knows his teammate. He knows that if he can give Cam Brown that look at the chalk, that he will be gone.
Well, you're talking about a young man who's about 10, 8, and 100, or at least the last time that he ran one for real in track. He's a state champion in track on a relay team, and a state medalist in the 100-meter relay or 100-meter dash. So, you get him in open field, you're not going to catch him, and not unless you have the equal talent. And once he gets about 5 yards and you don't have a good angle, there's just not many guys who are going to catch him. Even college and professional players that had a hard time tracking him down once he got clear.
And that is his 8th touchdown of the year. Still trailing Bradford's 13. I misspoke. I said 12. He's got 13. So closing in on Bradford for the scoring lead, and Dylan McGraw, of course, with the extra point. This kickoff, like all of our kickoffs this season on the Cadet Student Network, brought to you by TJ's Pizza. And Dylan McGraw is going to put it in play. Again, moved back a little bit by the unsportsmanlike after the touchdown. It's going to be received at the 20. And the return is a good one. There's open field. Tackle missed by McGraw. Good return there from number 33, Devin Ward.
Well,
and we've got
guys
more
coming in late. I don't know why there's not a flag on number 30. There it comes.
There's another one.
That better come in on 31 and not on somebody from CBC. I'm very partisan here. I'm not going to, mince words. But
this is the Cadet Student Network.
Yes,
we make no qualms about it.
He came on that pile really, really, really late, and that was really unnecessary. And it's really dangerous the way some of this is kind of shaking out to start with.
With 2 talented football teams, you do just want to see a football game. Emotion is part of the game, But when emotion becomes, takes over, and it starts getting in the way of the game, it keeps the game from transpiring, that's when it starts to be a problem. And if you're looking at plays like this throughout the game, you're looking at risk of injury, but you're also looking at the clock stopping after almost every play.
Well, you are.
That's going to be a personal foul against
Oh,
Vianney.
they're going to get unsportsmanlike on us. They're going to offset. That's 3 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, and that's really a shame. I guess these referees like doing lots of paperwork because every one of those, they got to write a letter to the state on that and rehash what happens. And, very often once they get away from everything, the report generally sugarcoats the whole situation.
Well, and the longer you let the offsetting penalties rule the day, the longer you give players license to do it because there's essentially no consequence.
Right.
You figure, oh, well, they're going to give them one too. Eventually, if you're these officials, and it's hard to do, that's why they're doing it, we're not. But eventually you have to start finding the instigators, and you have to call penalties on them and not let them offset so that there is a consequence for doing that. You have to make it clear that it's unacceptable. And now we're trying to get the flag back in the pocket. It appears to be safe. 9:48 to go in the first quarter on the Cadet Student Network. And it is the Golden Griffins' first possession, our first look at Tion Harris.
Yeah, Tion Harris and Kyron Williams and an extremely explosive Vianney offense.
They're going to test the speed of this CBC defense. And Harris is going to keep it. Picks up about 4. And again, we said before the game, he is the team's leading rusher as well.
So, on that particular play, if we can do that, if we can hold him to 2, 3, 4 yards on his runs and not get him into open field, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, shut down the middle and make him test your secondary because I think the Cadets like the speed of their secondary out wide. A little bit of motion on the line there. Nothing doing as Vianney gets the audible.
Moving around a little bit, trying to see what we're doing and kind of changing the play.
And this one goes up the middle again.
Now that looks like a speed option to the outside. The interesting thing on that particular play is that instead of getting to the edge, when Tion saw an opening underneath, he went underneath. And usually the way you're playing that, you're trying to get somebody to the outside to play on the quarterback. And they're going to have to slow play that and get a little bit better set on the edge so that they can play that particular play.
Snap to Harris. Another option. Comes to the near side. He flips it. And the ball carrier's down. The ball is out. The ball is out.
Oh.
Vianney has it as it's recovered by Kyron Williams. The ball carrier there, Devin Ward again. And it will be a Vianney first down. We do want to ask you, Cadet fans, are you protected? Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town. He's also the presenting sponsor of CSN. We're incredibly grateful for his support. 314-842-4442 or Tim at timkylo, that's KILO.com. Harris has Ward to his right. 3 receivers lined up to his left. Call still coming in from the Griffins bench. 6 seconds on the play clock. He's going to have to get this off. 3 seconds on the play clock. Harris, screen to Ward. Ward misses one. Can't miss another one, and we do have a flag down again. The initial missed tackle, he was able to shake free of Anthony Tillman. Jones, the ball carrier there.
I think they're going to get a block in the back as Anthony Tillman got up there. They kind of pushed him in the back as he was trying to get to the to the ball. So.
Yeah, correction, Jones, the tackler.
Yeah, that's going to be a block in the back. That's going to be a spot foul, I'm guessing, and that's going to back Vianney up and put them in some rough field position, almost similar to what happened to CBC on their first drive when they got backed up on a holding call.
8 minutes to go in this first quarter. The Cadets taking an early lead. If you're just joining us a little bit late, touchdown pass to Cam Brown. A long one, too. Probably about 65 yards. Didn't get the exact number on it. Clock going to 8 minutes. Tion Harris fakes the handoff inside, goes wide. That is missed. They're saying incomplete as the Cadets rush it. Good awareness by the Cadets to try to get on the loose ball just in case.
They're trying to run that bubble screen, and they're not getting anybody on Anthony Tillman on these plays, and they're trying to go outside of him. They tried to come underneath him, and on that particular play, he let the Vianney receiver know he was there, and the ball was a little high, knocked it clean, and boy, that was dangerous. That could have been picked off and gone the other way. Right on Lonell Boyd's side, too.
Good opportunity for the CBC defense. 2nd and 23 for the Griffins. Harris inside. He shakes off one, beats Taylor Robinson. He is going for the sideline. Taylor Robinson is able to get up and chase him down again. Missed the tackle. That's some impressive hustle from the junior.
It is. It's real impressive. But, here's the thing. If you've heard me on the broadcast before, 2nd and long is a perfect opportunity for a draw on a screen. As a defensive coordinator and a defensive team, you've got to know that is a possibility. And, you got to have that in your mind, and you got to have people call. And I'm sure they did. I'm sure they saw that guy go out there. And, you can't lose sight of the fact that Teon Harris is the leading rusher on this team.
2 receivers left, 1 right. Handoff underneath. Brought down after a gain of maybe 2. Mitchell, the ball carrier there. It was Percy Mitchell. And he is brought down by Linnell Boyd Jr. His family takes great glee in the announcement.
He's a big boy there, Mitchell is. I
is.
don't think he's he's not the slasher kind. He's the downhill, hard-hitting type of running back.
He absolutely is. 7:11 to go in this one. The Griffins trying to answer an early touchdown from the Cadets. This is their first possession of the game. The Cadets scored on their first. Can the Griffins match? Teon Harris rolling to his right. He's got options, throws it into the corner, and that is just too far. And it looked like number 28 there, if I'm not mistaken, Fareed Cheeks.
So, in that situation on that rollout, one of the things you're looking for as a quarterback like Teon Harris is you're looking for that open receiver, but you're also looking to see whether or not you got room to run the ball. And it looked like CBC had it all kind of covered up there, but, on this 3rd down, I wouldn't be surprised to see Harris try to go for the end zone or just to get that first down. It looks like they might be able to get a first down without scoring.
Harris, he's got Mitchell to his left. Harris around the left. He's got Mitchell blocking for him, and he's going to go out of bounds. He's brought down. And
they tried to go power away from the formation with Mitchell lead blocking there, and he almost looks like a small offensive guard coming around there. Nice play by CBC to make it 4th down.
It'll be 4th and 8 on the 10-yard line. Are the Griffins going to go for it?
They're leaving their personnel out there, Tom.
They are.
But they also have their coaches hanging out there pretty far to see what they're doing. So looks like they're going to go for it, or at least.
But it's also 4th and 5, so
right,
it should say 4th and 5.
Try to get a first, maybe draw us off sides to try to get a cheap first down.
Discipline from the defense. Harris throws left. He's got a man, and he has a touchdown. That is a soft one if you are CBC. That's going to frustrate the CBC defense. Just a little bit too easy for number 17, Zach Zerwig, to find his a little bit of space there.
You would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more aggressive coverage from the corner up there by the CBC defender. It's hard for me to see who was up there. But that's a gutsy play right there on 4th down by Vianney. So pending the extra point, looks like we'll be all squared up and back to square one.
And Jimmy Lehrman going to come on for this extra point. We mentioned TJ's Pizza. We're not short on good food here at CBC Games. We have an official pizza, and, of course, the next logical step is an official chicken sandwich. So we're proud to tell you that Chick-fil-A is now the official chicken sandwich of CSN. Those delicious Chick-fil-A sandwiches are now available in CBC's concession stands. Grab a sandwich next time you join us for a game. Be sure to visit our friends at Chick-fil-A location on Manchester Road, just east on Ballas. Just east of Ballas. Chick-fil-A CSN's pregame meal. It should be your pregame meal, too. Should also thank our friends at CSN for the chicken biscuits they provided us this morning, and they did donate those to us for the faculty here at CBC. So some great friends.
So we got a replay on that play. Yeah, the corner got sucked inside on the first couple steps and let that guy kind of sit out there. And you don't want to give him the edge. You want to contest that ball and rally and make the tackle right away. And even if they get the first down, give your defense to live another day.
But that's also one of the consequences of having a double-threat quarterback, a quarterback who can run. If you're that edge corner, you should follow your man, but that opens up space, and you're kind of in between a rock and a hard place, because if you leave your man open, it's an easy pass, but if you leave the inside lane open, it's an easy run. So
it is. The one thing is you got to remember to not do too much as a defender, though. What is your responsibility? I don't think that corner had run responsibility on that side to go along with his pass responsibility, especially not against a running quarterback like Teon Harris.
6:45 to go here in this fourth quarter. 7-7, all tied up. Thanks to a touchdown catch from Zach Zerwig. So Zerwig and Brown, the two scorers tonight. And Lehrman's kick, another low line drive. Not giving CBC a lot of hang time. And here is the return. Open field.
That's why I want the ball in Elijah Robinson's hand. You've got a track athlete who's built like a defensive lineman and plays defensive line along with running back, flying up the field down the middle. You didn't see a whole lot of cut there. You just saw speed and power and nobody getting in his way until it was too late before he got across midfield, or right at midfield, it looks like.
It's also hard to find a nicer young man than Elijah Robinson
Well,
is
you're
out
talking
there.
about an all-honors program kid, extremely intelligent and great smile. Just a great kid to be around.
A lot of those out there on the field. We'll tell you more about them as the broadcast goes as well, one of which is about to take the snap. Brett Gabbert. He's going to come near side to Budemeyer. Budemeyer gets a few extra yards after contact. That's gritty running. Is he going to get enough for the first down? He does. No, are they going to measure? No, they give it to
the
him.
First down. So number 6, the corner, Devin Devers, I think it is. He got the brunt of Carson Budemeyer on that particular play right there.
Carson, another nice young man, also a baseball player. I credit his advisor with that run, Mr.
Let
Maris.
me guess.
Take one guess. Gabbert, near side. And he's got Bradford. Bradford
Wow.
brought down.
Number 55, who is that?
That is Tavion Weary.
That was a nice play to chase him
Was.
down. Now, he had a good angle on the play, but good hustle by Weary to get back on that. I mean, that would have been a touchdown, I think, if he doesn't get in on that play and Bradford gets a full head of steam going.
And a lot easier to bring him down, grabbing his legs from behind than it is stopping him from the front. Bradford is a powerful, powerful runner. Gabbert, Bradford to his left. He's got Brown and Walton to his left as receivers. He's going to hand it off to Bradford, bounces right. And Bradford's able to get a few after contact again. They're going to give him 2.
Looks like maybe a yard on that play. You know, one of the things you see them is they're trying to get Bradford around the ankles. They're not trying to take him on up top, which is a smart decision because he's a load, if you're trying to take him on pad to pad.
I believe they call that self-preservation. 5.5 to go here in this first quarter. Gabbert, he's got backs on either side of him. Wide receiver on each side. Very symmetrical lineup here. Gabbert gets it away. Budemeyer in the middle. He is brought down after a gain of about 3 or 4 more. Good awareness by Gabbert under pressure as he's going down to find a man middle of the field.
It's a dangerous pass, though, that line drive pass right down the middle of the field. But, if there's one guy I'm going to be okay making that pass, it's going to be Brett. You had Antoine Higgins flying out down here. Looks like they had a double screen on, and they were all over it, so he just kept going.
One of those passes, you're a genius if a guy in purple catches it, and it's foolish if a guy in white catches it. Now Gabbert hands it off inside. This is Bradford again. Bradford doing a lot of the work early on for the Cadets. 4 and 40 seconds to go here in this first quarter. A few personnel changes for the Cadets. And they are now on the 24-yard line. This is a 4th and 6. Correction, 4th and 5. And they are going to go for it. So could we have 2 consecutive 4th down conversions? One for Vianney, another for CBC. Gabbert's got Cam Brown and Budemeyer to his left. And he's going to go over the middle, just too high for Walton. He had him. If he can keep that ball down, Walton is in the end zone.
So Vianney's defense stood first. They managed to get the first stop on defense, and that's a big play for them. I think if Brett would have had just another second to be able to set his feet, Tyler was coming clear down the seam there. Looks like Josh Plour got beat around the edge a little bit by the defensive lineman for Vianney. So we'll see whether CBC can match their stop on the second possession.
4:10 to go here in this first quarter. 7-7 game. It has been a good one. It's been an even one. It's been a feisty one on a beautiful evening. The wind going left to right across your screen in case you're wondering at home. Ooh, good tackle there by Tillman. And Tillman brings down
number 20,
Kyron Williams. I don't think Williams really had any time to react. He
well,
caught the ball
he
and he
did
was wrapped up.
because the one thing they're not able to do right now on Tillman is they're not able to get a hand on him as he comes up the field. He's so quick off the line of scrimmage right now that they're not getting a piece of him. And with doing that, it's just hard to be able to get a hand on him.
Clock goes under 4 in the quarter.
Ball
is loose. That is Kyron Harris. And he's wrapped up, play whistle dead. Correction, that's Kyron Williams.
Now, Harris got hit right as he pitched that ball, just how you're supposed to play the option. That ball went a little erratic. Williams wasn't able to corral it in cleanly. Ends up on the ground now. Luckily for them, it popped right back to him, because sometimes those option pitches, when they get on the ground, they start spinning. Now all of a sudden you're having to take your eye off the defender to be able to try to get a hold of the ball. You either get hurt or you give it up.
And a long way to go now for these Griffins. The Griffin had wings. That would be nice if they could use them.
Well,
3rd and 22.
Last time they had this, Harris went up the field and had a nice play for a first down. So
3rd and 22, ball in their own 15. Here is Harris looking to throw. Pressure from the pocket. He's able to escape. He's running. He loses the ball. The ball is loose. Vianney again able to get onto it. They're not going to convert the 3rd down. I don't think they're going to go for this one. But Vianney having trouble holding on to the football tonight.
Well, they are, and I really don't like harping on the officials, but they missed a really, really blatant hold on one of the defensive linemen for CBC coming up underneath there, and I thought that should have been coming back. Nonetheless, that allowed Harris to escape, and I don't know what happened. He was in the clear. Nobody hit him, no nothing. The ball hit the ground, and all of a sudden, they've got nothing.
And on the punt is Lehrman. 4th and 22. Don't think they'll try the fake here. Punt rolling to the right. That's a low knuckler. And that's brought in. And no return.
I think if Lonnell had just kept to the sideline and gotten upfield, he would have been able to set up a block. Now, they don't allow those crackback blocks anymore, and so that might have been what was on his mind, that, you don't want to get one of those, what we used to love, those crackback blocks back in the day, but we're not allowed to do that anymore. And, it's a good punt right there by Lehrman in order to pin CBC back from where they were. But CBC still has decent field position as they start their 3rd possession of the game. So defenses each held second time around.
2 minutes and 2 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Even game here on the Cadet Student Network. Gabbert takes the snap, fakes the handoff, hits Cam Brown. Good hands by Cam, and that's a big gain for the Cadets. Cam Brown brought down by number 6, it looked like, Devin Devers.
What do we got, a penalty?
Oh, and they got a flag going against CBC. Sometimes I think there's a flag on the ground, and it turns out it is just the golden shoes of Harry Nardini.
Well, it looks like maybe Antoine Higgins is borrowing Nardini's shoes, because Antoine's got his old 14 back now that he's back in the fold for CBC.
Those things are gleaming. You could save some money
It's
on
a shame.
light bulbs
Nice
at the
play
stadium.
right there. I didn't get this. I pulled my eyes when the ball went in the air. I pulled my eyes off where the hold took place, but
on the upside, even though you lose the yardage, you know the connection's there. You see a quarterback firing to a receiver. You see a perfect throw. You see a good route. You see an understanding. So, good signs early. You certainly don't want that to continue, but
so a matchup to watch here is Weary on Josh Plour down here at left tackle. The offensive left tackle for CBC has had his hands full with Weary. Weary we saw as a very athletic young man. Aaron Donald-esque, I would say, based on his build and the way he runs. And he's been giving CBC a hard time there. They might look to do something different to get him out of the game plan.
And we will make no jokes about growing weary with Weary if you're trying to match up against him, as Gabbert takes this one. He's got backs on either side, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Pulls it back, hits Cam Brown, same route, but unable to bring it down. And now jawing with Cam Brown is again number 6, Devin Devers. The CBC fans are furious with that.
There's a little bit of two there. Both those guys did not back down after the play there. Cam, I think, tried to sell his aspect of that wasn't him. But, he needs to get a little bit more separation there. And nice play by number 6.
But still, there's a very frustrated Tyrannosaurus Rex over on the CBC sideline. Some student wearing a T-Rex costume. Rejoicing with some shadow visitors, some 8th grade official visitors. We'll tell you more about how you can schedule one of those if you're interested in becoming a cadet. Maybe you too could wear the T-Rex costume and run around on the sideline. 1:45 to go in the quarter. Gabbert's going to take the snap, fakes the handoff to Bradford, fakes the flip, He's going deep. Walton over the middle. Walton hauls it in, but he is brought down. He got his feet kind of mixed up as he turned around, but that's a big gain and a first down for the Cadets.
You know, they're CBC's having good luck right now getting receivers down the seam. On the last play, you would have liked to see maybe Brown get a little bit more inside, so help create some separation on number 6, but CBC seems content to throw the ball.
Gabbert hands off on the inside. This is Bradford again. He's going to pick up about 4. And while we have a second, I do want to wish a very happy birthday to Ginny Lawton. We know you're watching. Michael Hibbard, your grandson, came up to me before the broadcast and said, Mr. Eichwald, I know my grandmother's watching. It's her birthday today. Could you please say happy birthday to Ginny Lawton? Michael, a very thoughtful young man. We're so proud of him. We know you are too. Ginny, hope you're having a great birthday, enjoying the broadcast. And Gabbert is going to take the snap. Again, fakes the handoff. Same play, but different receiver.
Oh, got a flag. They're going to get a PI on this one or a hold.
That was. The intended receiver there was Julian
Williams, who has been an ascending player for CBC at receiver. He's also the backup quarterback, but his athleticism, they're trying to get it on the field and utilize it. And in doing so, they've decided to work him at wide receiver, and he's been a huge contributor for CBC the last few weeks.
Clock stuck at 54.9 seconds to go in this quarter. Want to remind you that at the end of the first quarter, we will honor Coach Pingle on his 100th victory coming last week against Rockhurst High School. And we get set. Officials ready to go, players ready to go. Gabbert's going to take the snap. He's got Bradford to his right. And he's got Budemeyer and Walton to his left, Cam Brown to his right for the receivers. He's going to take the snap. He's looking to his right. Rolls a little to the right. Going up top for Cam Brown. He cannot get to him. A well-timed play on the ball there. Good defending from Fareed Cheeks.
That was a real nice play. That ball was up there a long time, and, you know, the defender didn't take a chance on intercepting that ball. He went straight. He was going to stay with Brown no matter what and swatted it away as it came down.
Yeah, it was a good throw, but if you look at the flags, I don't know if you can see that in the background of the shot. The flags are going. Ball got held up in the wind just a little bit, just enough, I think, that it was just a little behind his man.
Got a little bit of wind here tonight, so.
That's what Gabbert will say, at least. If golfers are anything like quarterbacks, got held up in the wind. It was a well-thrown ball. And the Cadets reorganizing themselves. Walton and Budemeyer again to the left. Bradford to the immediate left-hand side of Gabbert. He's got Brown and Williams on the right side. Gabbert takes a snap. Pressure coming from the right. And that is off the fingertips of Williams. Good instincts from Gabbert to go back to the blitz side, but just a little bit rushed. Couldn't quite find Julian Williams. That will bring up a third down.
So you see a lot of heavy blitz right here, and they're playing really heavy to the line of scrimmage. They're daring Brett Gabbert to complete some of these passes, and they're really working to take away Brian Bradford. If CBC can hook up on one of these where they're playing these safeties so far up, you're going to see another situation like you did with Cam Brown running down the field. But they're getting to Gabbert, so.
He's going to take the snap. Similar formation. Gabbert inside for Bradford. Bradford beats one. He says he wasn't down, but the whistle went.
Be interesting to see what CBC does here. They're in kind of an interesting situation on the 30-yard line. Looks like they're going to go for it on fourth down. Or they might let it run to the corner and see what happens here and talk about it at the end of the first quarter.
They have the time to do that if they wish. We got a timeout being taken. No, we don't.
No, you had an official timeout, and we'll see what happens here.
They do not have to run this play if they don't want to. It looks like they will. Under 5 seconds on the game clock. Nope, they're going to let it run out.
They're going to let it run.
So that is the end of the first quarter. We'll get set to honor Coach Pingle. But before we do that, if you're a fan of CSN, you've definitely heard us mention our friend State Farm agent Tim Kylo. He was just in here a few minutes ago. It's time to give Tim a call. Let him help save you money on your insurance. We're talking home, life, boat, anything. If it can be insured, Tim is your guy. You just want to ask our communications director, Pat Walsh, who saved $1,100 last year by switching to Tim Kylo. He's our guy. We want him to be your guy, too. Call him at 314-842-4442 or send him an email at tim@timkilo, that's KILO.com.
Well, interesting play right there as we get ready to go in the second half here. And they're talking about Coach Pingle, but I don't think he's anywhere worried about his 100th win. He's more worried about what's going on out there on the
I
field.
think the only numbers he cares about are 7 and 7. That is the score right now. 11 seconds to go. Also want to take a second to thank Mercy Sports Medicine for continuing to take care of our student athletes. Mercy is ranked as a top-tier Catholic health system nationally and offers the highest quality health care for students and their families. CBC athletic trainer Kristen Jeans and the team at Mercy take great care of our young men so we can testify to their excellence. To learn more, visit mercy.net. And since we have the time, one more. Why not? Got a lot of sponsors. A lot of people make this broadcast possible. We're so grateful to all who make this broadcast possible. We're proud to announce that East Bay is now the official apparel provider for the Cadets. East Bay and Under Armour keep our players and coaches looking good on the field. They can make you look good, too. Keep your eye out for our CBC online team stores or shop anytime at eastbay.com. Gabbert two backs alongside him. He's got Budemeyer and Brown to his right, and he has Walton to his left. He's going to throw. He's got blocking on the corners. Pocket collapsing in the middle this time. This time the Cadets are able to match up wide, but they leave Broadway wide open.
So Nate Thurman having a field day out there, and a tough situation for CBC on fourth down. Took a little too long to try to get rid of the ball there, and the protection broke down. I know Coach Notestein will be talking to these guys on the sideline about this.
But you see the early strategy from Vianney paying off. Bring pressure from wide, make CBC deal with it, and then force it down the middle. 11:42 to go, just underway in this second quarter. The Cadets in the purple going left to right across your screen with the win this time. And the Griffins going right to left. So Harris. Hands off inside. Looked like the ball carrier there was Devin Ward again.
So they had motion that way. They went with the motion, and they're trying to. These offenses are trying to feel each other out after some early success. We stalled a little bit. CBC's been able to move into Vianney territory a couple of times, but not been able to finish it off on either of the last two drives. They gave forward progress of a yard. I think that's pretty generous right there on that particular play, but.
We say no more. Harris rolling to his left. Finds a man in the flat. Painful tackle there. Ball carrier receiver number 48, John Volmert.
So you got a third and short situation here, and you got a wholesale player change. I think you're going to see a jumbo look here from Vianney with all these changes. Wildcat type of look. On third and short here.
And still waiting to see the personnel get set. And this is
nothing happening there.
Kyron Williams can't make anything happen. I was just about to say Kyron Williams, impact player for Vianney, a player we haven't said the name of too much tonight. Williams comes into this game with 592 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns, averages 9.5 yards per run. And he's been kept quiet in that first quarter. They were trying to unleash him there, at least get a few. And the Cadets held strong. And now snap again directly to Williams. This time.
Oh, they're going to get it that time.
They're going to get it thanks to some generous offensive line play.
They got a little bit extra push there.
Yep, that was a nice job by Nate Thurman of Vianney to provide that extra bit of push.
If you can get him down and get at his legs earlier and you don't end up top, he can't get pushed. He's on the ground because CBC had the initial charge stop, but they were able to keep their feet moving.
So a good conversion for the Griffins. Can they turn it into points? Harris is going to take the snap. He's rolling to his right. Throws very well on the run. Just kind of off the fingertips, it looked like, of Zach Zerwig.
Yeah, Zerwig was on the ground out there, tried to scramble back up, and Harris thought he could get him while he was getting up. Don't know if I would go with that decision. I might have took off and run if I were Harris there just to try to get some positive yards out of that play. If that ball gets tipped up, you had a CBC defender standing right behind there to pick it off and go the other way.
And Harris is going to take the snap again in the shotgun. He's going to flip it wide. And that is Percy Mitchell on the carry. He's going to get a gain of about 7 or so.
So that's going to put a third down. You're going to see that jumbo package again right here, I think, as they make wholesale changes and everybody's running guys on and off the field here.
Harris is off the field, so I'd imagine Williams is going to take the snap again.
CBC needs to get set.
And there it is.
And looks like he got it again. They're not getting tons of yards, but they're able to move it on that jumbo play right there.
Well, and they're getting the yards when they need to get them on those 3rd, 4th down conversions, which can be so huge over the course of a game. That's 2 moments. I mean, on the stat sheet, that's going to look like what? About 3 combined, 4 combined yards maybe? But 2 huge, huge moments for Kyron Williams. Just as I was saying we hadn't heard his name. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. 9 minutes to go in the first half. 7-7. Harris to his right. Nice touch on the ball, but a little bit underthrown, I think.
Malik Billingsley on the coverage there, and had he got his head around a little sooner, he might have had a shot at picking that ball off, but nonetheless, nothing happening out of bounds or not caught, and you got nothing going there.
Yep, brings up 2nd down and 10 from the CBC 37. The Griffins trying to take the lead by converting on some points.
Somebody's got a timeout or an equipment or something here. Not exactly sure what was going on there, but somebody had to get something right.
It's been sorted out, and that's all that matters. We're about to resume. Williams in motion. Harris hands off underneath to Mitchell. Mitchell's able to power his way to about 5 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Are they going to go with the jumbo formation? Harris walking to the sideline.
See a couple of substitutions, but nothing like that. This is 3rd and 6. I think you're going to only see that if they've got 3rd or 5 or less, and they feel like they can get positive yards 2 plays in a row in order to go for that. But I do think this is probably 2-down territory right now for Vianney, the way they're feeling.
Harris is going to take the snap. Looks like he's got Ward next to him. And player in motion, but we have a flag on the field.
Illegal procedure on Vianney, so that's going to step them back 5 yards. This will change the complexity of this entire down.
Crucial right now for the Cadets.
You see a change there with Elijah Robinson coming in and Keon Willis coming out. Elijah Robinson, an advent of a pass rusher, and Julian Beach seeing some action again after being out with a bum shoulder, going in for FaZe Thomas. So you got your pass rushers, your athletic guys on the field here. Got to be careful of the quarterback draw with these guys. Right there.
And Harris is brought down after a gain of 5.
About 5 or 6 on that play, and CBC played it okay. But as soon as you do that, you bring all those athletic guys in there. You know, as a head coach, you got to think about going for a quarterback draw with an athletic quarterback.
Brings up 4th and 5. They're going to go for it again. This time Harris will take the snap instead of Williams. They're at least going to line up. Whether they actually run this play or just try to draw somebody off, we shall see. Harris has Ward to his immediate right. He is going to take the snap. He's going to go right up the middle. Bounces a little bit right. And
he's short.
I don't think he's going to get
short.
it.
So CBC held the second time around.
That will
Harris got hit hard. I think that's him still on the ground a little bit, slow to get up. Yep. And that's the other thing with an athletic running quarterback. He's going to take some licks as he goes off the field. Now, look, you're talking about a very, very tough senior who's won a state championship, but, you know, the CBC is going to give him some pops in there, and you know, as he comes off the field, you might see a little more wildcat coming from them if he doesn't get everything right during this next CBC possession.
7 minutes, 14 seconds to go in this half. Still 7-7. Both scores coming on the first possession of the game for the respective teams. CBC first, followed by Vianney. And now Gabbert's going to take this snap. He's got Bradford to his right. Fakes the handoff. He comes over to the flat for Tyler Walton. That is incomplete and out of bounds. Not the greatest throw Brett Gabbert is ever going to make. He is down little slow to get up. Appears to be okay.
Hit to the head. So you got helmet-to-helmet contact on Vianney. That might be why Brett's a little slow getting up. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty, I think, against Vianney, and mark it off from that spot.
And Harry Nardini, I'm sorry, that's Higgins.
Antoine Higgins,
Antoine
yeah.
Higgins.
I know it's hard. And Nardini was wearing that uniform for so long, and when Antoine came back after missing some time, we got to get used to doing that.
We'll work on it. And we do have the 15-yard penalty against Vianney, so that will make it 1st and 10 from the Cadets' 45-yard line. Backs on either side of Gabbert. Rolls to his right, sets his feet, fires, finds Cam Brown, beats one. Cam Brown trying to go sideline, can't quite get there, but a good catch and a good way to get about 4 yards.
So you see CBC making an adjustment there. On that adjustment, you're seeing them move the pocket. So Vianney's been getting a lot of pressure when Gabbert's trying to sit in the middle of the pocket. So you roll, you get him out, you make those Vianney defensive linemen have to chase, and you let him throw on the run, and he threw a strike right there to Cam Brown.
Same two-back set. This time the handoff to Bradford inside. Bradford's able to pick up a hard 4 or so.
And you see Vianney wanting to just clog it up in the middle and not give Bradford any running room, any chance to be able to get his feet going. And that's really stifled the CBC running game to start this game.
Same formation in the backfield. 2 receivers left. That's Budemeyer and Walton. Brown on the right. And we have a penalty. Looks like it's going to go against Vianney, perhaps. Tyler Walton pointing off sides.
I didn't see anybody on our line move, but we're going to find out right here. Encroachment, there you go. That's an easy 5 yards. You'll take that every time you can get it. That makes it 2nd and short instead of 2nd and long. And that really opens up your playbook for a lot of options because you might decide you want to take a shot here. You can try and run the ball, as long as you can get some positive yards. It sets up a very manageable 3rd down. It just really does a lot for your offense.
That's 20 easy yards for the Cadets by way of penalties. Gabbert takes the snap, hands off inside. Good run there. That was Higgins. He's going to pick up enough for the 1st down.
So keying on Bradford, that's going to open up Higgins and potentially Lotz in terms of them being able to be the primary ball carrier here in this game, and we'll see whether that ends up being a storyline.
2 wide receivers left, 1 right. That's Cam Brown isolated on the right-hand side. He's got some cover. I wouldn't be surprised to see Budemeyer over in that left-hand side. He is in isolation. But Cam Brown.
Oh, and it's a touchdown anyway, boys and girls.
You can hang on to him all you want. Fareed Cheeks, that is a touchdown.
Nice.
Cam Brown being dragged backwards. There are 2 flags. There was one thrown initially, and there was one thrown after the catch. We'll see if it's more than just varying reaction time and flag access. They're going to call pass interference against Vianney, and that will be a touchdown regardless. The Cadets 13-7. Dylan McGraw trying to make it 14. A Cadet touchdown. That is Cam Brown's 2nd touchdown catch of the night. That brings him up to 9 on the season.
They've definitely made an effort to stop Brian Bradford this week. And in doing so, they've really given Cam Brown some open field to work with. I think as CBC keeps working some underneath routes with him, down the seams and some deep hooks, hitches and stuff, he's going to have a big, big night.
And it looked like there was some safety support on this near side. I was expecting maybe a pass over Budemeyer where there's nobody over there. But Cam Brown's able to beat his man. Tyler Walton does a nice job of bringing the safety inside and opens it up for, we do have a replay here. So you see Cam Brown at the bottom of your screen, one-on-one coverage. There's a safety behind that corner off screen. So the handoff, there you see the safety pinches in with the handoff to Bradford.
Yeah, they were the defensive back for Vianney was looking for offensive pass interference on that, but boy, that's got to be pretty blatant if you're going to get an offensive pass interference. Nice block by the running back there in order to set Gabbert up on that throw, but you just see him kind of sling that ball out there, knowing that Brown's coming down the seam. with a lot of quarterbacks, you'd be going, oh, my gosh, what are you doing? But with Gabbert, you just have innate trust in the young man and his ability to make plays. And I think once they get some of their pass protection situations squared away, he gets his feet set, you're going to see some of those throws on a dime like you have otherwise.
And Gabbert coming into the game with a 73% completion percentage. Really, really impressive at this level for sure. Although I'm sure Carson Buttermeyer will want to remind him he has a 100% completion percentage. Pretty impressive passer rating on one touchdown or one pass for 28 yards from Carson Buttermeyer. 5:55 to go. We get a fair catch here of Williams.
So a nice touchback kick right there by Dylan McGraw. Folks, if you don't follow high school football very much and you don't know, as soon as that ball goes in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback. And that saves a lot of wear and tear on your coverage guys. They're not having to take extra hits as they're coming down the field, and they're not having to make extra tackles, and it's just one less play for an offensive guy to be able to make.
5 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the first half. At halftime, we'll honor our state champion cadet hockey team. Tell you more about that. Harris flips right. This is Williams. Williams beats a couple, brought down by Taylor Robinson helping out over there on that left side. No, correction, that is Carey. That is Luke Carey, senior on senior night.
So 9 yards on that play, and you're seeing a little bit of a change here with Williams in the backfield. Very, very young, very, very explosive young man. Was a linchpin in them with their run to the state championship last year in Class 5.
Harris takes a snap, fires to his left, breaks 2 tackles, then brought down. That was number 28 for Reed Cheeks. Getting it done on both sides of the field for the Griffins. 5:15 to go in the half.
So they got that first down, but you saw Anthony Tillman, he was just whiskers hair away from making that play for nothing. And, he's giving them trouble. They try to take that screen play a lot wider now instead of trying to take it right at Anthony Tillman.
Snap to Harris. He's going to pull it down, try to go inside. Gets through the first level. Brought down by Taylor Robinson. That is a huge tackle by Robinson.
That is. You were going to be chasing him, and it was kind of a dire situation, but that's why your safeties are there. They're safeties. They're there as your last stop to be able to get him, and nice play by Taylor Robinson.
Clock goes under 5. Play clock under 20. The Griffins getting themselves sorted out. This will be Harris with Williams to his right. 3 receivers over on that right side, nothing on the left. And it's going to be in the flats for Williams. You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get Williams into some open space. If they can do that, he can do a lot of damage. If you're the Cadets, you've got to shut him down right away, and they did a nice job of it there.
Sorry, I got distracted. I missed that play, Tom, so I'm glad it didn't turn out to be anything too much other than a second and long.
You missed some good tackling. Harris inside.
Faze Thomas.
Brought down by Faze. Again, we talked about some of these really, really nice young men. Faze is as good as they come. Mild-mannered, kind, just a wonderful, wonderful kid. But you get Faze in a football uniform between the stripes, and personality changes a little bit.
It does, and he's also a tremendous wrestler. A state qualifier last year as a sophomore. I know they've got high hopes for him being a medalist on a team that finished second in state last year. I know they've got designs on making a run at a state championship of their own.
Harris waiting for the call. He's alone in the backfield. We got motion, though.
Yeah, he had a lot of jumping around movement. They got a timeout call before that happened. Something they didn't like there, so.
Now, we've talked about a lot of the incredible football players here. We talk about our hockey team that'll be honored at halftime. But we do have a moment to brag, and we want to brag about a lot more than sports. CBC, there is so much going on, as you know. You may know that we've won state championships. But did you know that we're stronger than ever in a lot of other ways? Why do we say that? This past year, 55 of our students earned Missouri Bright Flight Honors. That is a score of 30 or higher on the ACT. 6 more students receive recognition from the prestigious National Merit Scholarship Program. Let me repeat that. 6 students receiving recognition from the National Merit Scholarship Program. And when all was said and done, our young men had earned more than 2,600 hours of college credit right here at CBC. Folks, that is over $1.5 million of estimated tuition savings on those credits. This past April, CBC earned full accreditation for the 90th consecutive year. We're proud to report that our school received one of the highest, or the highest accrediting score ever given by the leader of our review team. So reasons like that, it is no surprise that we are saying we are stronger than ever. So much going on at CBC, so much of it impressive. Getting ready for the Fantastics this weekend. Could have also said the Performing Arts program stronger than ever. Just won the Production of the Year from the St. Louis High School Theater Association last year. We will be putting that up after the weekend, so starting on Monday, you'll be able to see the Fantastics here on CSN as well as Harris takes the snap. And he hits the foot of Fareed Cheeks, but no more.
Almost like they were taking a page out of the CBC playbook right there, where they were trying to open up to the outside and then try to hit something down the seam and nothing doing.
Got carried away there talking about all the stuff going on at CBC. Forgot to mention the football game. 14-7 Cadets. 3:29 to go in the first half. Vianney trying to level things up. They're in the white shirts going right to left. The Cadets in the home purple going left to right. Harris keeps it. He's going to get a first down. Can he get more? This time Robinson can't bring him down, and it will be a touchdown. Tion Harris. We have, or will soon have, pending the completion of an extra point, a tie game.
So you thought, it looked like CBC might have him wrangled up for no gain or even just a first down, but in the end he slips through. Robinson can't get over to make that play, and it looks like they're headed towards a tie game here.
And an impressive game of football this is turning out to be.
Well, it is, and you've got Titans here. There's a lot of people in the state that think that these are the two best teams in the state, regardless of classification. I know our friends down at Eureka probably would disagree with that, and maybe some people over in Kansas City, but nonetheless, definitely two of the strongest right here in St. Louis.
And that is good, so we do have a tie game, 14-14. Not a whole lot between these two teams so far. And as we get set for the Cadets, maybe it's too soon to say it'll be their last possession of the half. We got a replay of the touchdown. There you see just breaking through tacklers.
How about a shout out to our soccer team who last night completed a 4-0 MCC season to win the MCC championship. Avenged the losses in all of those MCC games except for the Chaminade one, in order to win that. And I know last night was a little dicey being a weird 8 o'clock start and got a goal in the second half and made it stand up.
Yeah, it's been an up and down season for the Cadets soccer team. We brought you 3 games in the we brought you 2 of the 3 games in the CBC tournament here on CSN. Those were probably not happy viewing for you. Thank you for not taking it out on the messenger. But the Cadet team has really grown a lot since then. They put in some really solid performances, a very disciplined performance last night against DeSmet. And MCC champs again are your CBC soccer Cadets. And we should mention, surprised we haven't mentioned tonight, MCC title on the line tonight.
It is. CBC, I think, going for their 8th or 9th consecutive MCC title. I guess it would be their 8th consecutive conference title.
This kickoff, though less happy for CBC fans, is also brought to you by TJ's Pizza. There's an onside kick attempt. Vianney's going to pick this up. Vianney gets it. Vianney picks up the onside kick.
So there you go, folks. There's your first big turnover type of play of the game. And, if somebody was asking me keys to the game, had I mentioned it earlier, it was going to be the turnover battle. And I know that's an onside kick, but it does kind of count as a turnover. CBC expecting to get the ball back. And Carson Budemeyer got in, the ball went right up over his head, trying to figure out how he's going to defend that ball. And since they've changed some of the rules on onside kick play, you can't engage that guy that's chasing the ball down until there's contact with the ball. So really tricky play right there for CBC, and well executed by Vianney. See what CBC's defense has right here.
3 minutes, 18 seconds, 19 seconds. And Harris to his left, brought down by FaZe Thomas again. That time FaZe chasing him down from the backside. Talk about the size of FaZe. He can also cover some ground.
Well, he can. He's a very athletic young man, and you saw looked like Jaden Brown coming up quick to force him to pull that ball down before he wanted to get rid of it. And that allowed FaZe to come up behind him and grab him and slam him to the ground. not something I'd want to have happen to me.
Nope. A lot safer up here. Snap to Harris. Hands it off inside for Ward. Ward's persistence gets him about 7. Maybe 6.
He's got about 5, and that puts up, after the loss on the last play, that puts up about a 3rd and 7 on that particular play. So it's kind of hard to see from our vantage point on some of these spots, folks.
Yeah.
But a big 3rd down right here.
And they're going to
looks
go.
like Vianney's bringing in their jumbo look. They want to eat some clock here, too, and get into halftime. If nothing else, if they can't take the lead, they want it to stay right here. They want to keep the ball out of CBC's hands also.
And it's a respect to the speed with which they know CBC can score. Looks like Williams is going to take this snap again. 3rd and 7 on the CBC 34. He's going around to the left. Larry Williams gets steamrolled. Will he get it? It's right at the line. Did Larry Williams slow him down enough?
And that's saying something going through Larry Williams Jr. He's been a missile on the kickoff team, and that's part of why he's in this package against this jumbo look, is his ability to tackle and hit. Good contact right there.
It was enough.
But they've got a 4th down right here,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens.
So maybe unfair to say he got steamrolled. Larry Williams, putting his body on the line, was able to hold him up. This snap again to Williams. Can they bring him down in the backfield? No, he's loose. That time a combination of Williams and Lonell Boyd Jr. bring him down, but not after he's able to pick up the first. Another huge conversion for the Vianney Griffins. They've got to be about 4 for 5 on short yardage conversions.
They are in those particular situations, and on that play, he's looking to find a seam and get the first down right up the middle, but when it's not there and everybody's converging down, Williams has got the skill to get out to the edge, and he only needed a couple, and he got a little more than that.
1st and 10 from the CBC 22. Maybe about 21 and a half, actually, for those of you keen on precision at home. 1:47 to go in this first half. Harris is going to take the snap. He's going to go it up the middle. Gets past the first level. He's brought down by Tillman first. Might have been some other guys involved. Tillman gets thrown off of Harris by one of the Vianney linemen. He is not happy about it. The officials seem content with it, though.
So right now, Vianney's exerting their will a little bit on the CBC defense on the running game. Getting chunks, and they've got some life. They believe in themselves in this particular play. CBC needs to try to take back the momentum somewhere along the line here.
And the clock is running. CBC has all of their timeouts remaining. Vianney's used 1. Harris is going to take the snap. He's got Ward to his right, and he's going to go it himself. He might pick up 1 or 2, but that's going to be it. More importantly, he's eating up some clock. They've got 2 timeouts left. We'll see if they use them. 53 seconds and counting.
So you're going to have a 3rd down. They're going to bring their jumbo package back in here.
And they may want to think about calling a timeout at some point just to make sure they get the...
I think Vianney's looking to run this down into under 20 seconds and try to run as many plays as they can out of this jumbo package.
Williams will take the snap. Kyron Williams, one of the marquee players in the area. Ball in his hands. Tries to go up the middle, cuts it to his right. He goes down. He's not in the end zone, but he gets down to the 2. Vianney doing a wonderful job tonight, and you would know more than I, Chris, but Vianney doing a wonderful job of getting past the first level. It seems like there's a lot of players squeaking past that first level. Sometimes they're breaking. Sometimes Taylor Robinson and the safeties are stopping them, but they're getting a lot of those 4 or 5 yard runs by just finishing runs through the first level. And this time he's going to go over. No doubt about that one. We have a touchdown, and we have a Vianney lead. So Kyron Williams, with the touchdown, makes it 20, potentially 21 to 14. Could the Cadets go into halftime trailing in this? Talked about getting past the first level. I guess there's more than one way to do that. If you got those ups, might as well go over.
Well, you didn't have very far to go. He got up in there and got in the end zone. And, that's where that onside kick paid huge dividends for them. And Vianney's going to get the ball to start the second half. So this is going to be an interesting game here, folks, and see what CBC has in the second half. I'm sure they'll make some key adjustments, and, this will be close to the very end.
And it is good from Larman, correction. 16.2 remaining in the half. That is exactly how much time CBC will have to try to get back at the Griffins of Vianney. Cadet fans, are you protected? Call State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town. He's also the presenting sponsor of CSN. We're incredibly grateful for his support. Call Tim at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. Thanks to the support of Tim, we're able to bring you this game on the Cadet Student Network. My name is Tom Eichwald, and alongside me, Mr. Chris Maris. Got a number of students working the broadcast tonight. We got James Moats, we got Max Adamski, we got Mason Jenkins, Joe Cunningham, and Charlie Hines. They are doing a wonderful job. These kids are talented. So thanks, gentlemen, and thanks to all of our sponsors, and thank you to our viewers for making the Cadet Student Network possible.
So as we get ready for this kickoff here, and I got to believe that Vianney's not going to try to give anything to CBC on the return. Maybe they'll go deep if they think they can get it in the end zone, but we'll see what happens.
They're kicking into a breeze that's blowing our papers all over the desk up here, so I don't know that that's going to happen. That's quite a leg. So far, we've seen those low-line drives from Larman. We'll see if they try to squib one just to keep it out of the hands of Elijah Robinson.
The clock won't start till it touches somebody's hands.
And they're going to put it in that second level. Larry Williams here. He's got a little bit of speed to him, too. And he's going to get brought down with 10 to go, 10.3. And the Cadets will take the field. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining. And one wonders what the strategy will be here.
Well, this will be interesting. See what Coach Pingle decides to do here. You know, I got to believe they're going to take one shot at this.
Might as well.
See if they can get some yardage and get a first down. It'd be interesting to see. I think they probably want to see how Vianney's going to play. Is Vianney going to play soft and maybe allow Brown to get the ball underneath and run with it? We're going to find out right here.
Brown's got one-on-one coverage down here on the near side. They got a safety who may slide over, but he's also got Tyler Walton to deal with. This near side looks pretty good. Possible blitz coming off that left side, and there it is. Is Gabbert going to have time to throw? Steps up into the pocket. He's going to run it. 5 seconds to go. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Needs to get down and call a timeout or get out of bounds. And they are not going to get the timeout. A lot of space to run, but there is nowhere to go. Woo! That was quite a half of football we saw.
Well, you know, you would have liked to have seen Brett get out of bounds right there. Just as soon as he saw his line cut off up the field, get out of bounds. You know, give your chance a reasonable shot for a heave up the field. So.
And we are getting set to honor the cadet hockey team. Of course, you talk about athletic dominance. It doesn't get more dominant in the St. Louis area than the CBC hockey team. They're gathering on the track here. But we are going to take a quick break here on the Cadet Student Network. When we come back, we will wrap up the first half for you and get you all set for second half action. You are watching CBC Vianney. It's 21 Vianney, 14 CBC here on CSN. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Tim Kylo broadcast booth here on CSN. We've got second half action in store for you. And we have a good football game on hand. 21 for the Golden Griffins, 14 scored by the Cadets. It has been a close game. It has been a fierce game. Tom Eichwald alongside Chris Maris bringing it to you. Chris, what have we seen? Let's start with this first half. What did we see in that first half?
Well, I saw a team that was able to take away the running game for CBC and Vianney. Their front seven did a great job of getting penetration, creating problems for CBC's offensive line, and effectively shut down Brian Bradford, Antoine Higgins, Chance Lotz, and the bunch. And in doing so, they forced Bradford to throw, or forced Brett Gabbert to throw the ball quite a bit. And as that went along, they started being able to pin their ears back and got some pressure on him, and it slowed the CBC offense down. Now, let's be wary here. CBC moved inside of Vianney territory 2 times and came away with no points. So there were, CBC's been able to move the ball, but I think one of the things they need to do in the second half is they need to be able to be a little bit more balanced with their run game, and also when they're throwing the ball, be creative in terms of moving the pocket around so that Vianney's having to change directions on their pass rush, setting up some angles to be able to allow our offensive linemen to wall them off and give Gabbert time to throw.
So that is for CBC. What about Vianney? What do they need to do in the second half to stay on top?
They need to continue to make plays like the onside kick happen. They need to continue to get Tion Harris open in space. CBC slowed him down in spots, but not consistently enough. He had a big run for a touchdown. I think it was on 4th down. And if they get him there, that's a huge play. Even if he gets the first down, forcing them to take their time and grind. More often than not, teams are going to make a mistake. You just don't see high school teams just methodically drive the ball all the time. They'll do it occasionally, but usually they'll make a mistake, a turnover, a penalty, a botched assignment. It's asking too much of a high school player mentally to do that all the way down the field. They need to continue that run game and stay mentally tough throughout this, and limit the time that their defense has to be on the field, to be quite honest with you. If their defense is on the field, they've got more two-way players than CBC. It's going to give them, more rest going into the fourth quarter, which is something CBC likes to do with teams that play a lot of two-way players, is wear them down and take them out in the fourth quarter.
Folks, if you are a fan of CSN, you have definitely heard us mention Tim Kylo. State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo is here to meet all of your insurance needs. He is not just the best insurance guy in town. He's our presenting sponsor. We are so grateful for him. He just saved CBC Communications Director Pat Walsh $1,100. He wants to save you money, whether you got a home, life, boat, anything. If it can be insured, Tim is your guy. So you will want to reach out to Tim Kylo at 314-842-4442. You can also send him an email at tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com. We get set for the second half kickoff. Like all of our kickoffs, that will be brought to you by TJ's Pizza. Maybe you're actually sitting in the stands tonight. You got your earbuds in as you enjoy the game. You're listening to us. I urge you, go to the concession stand, get some TJ's Pizza. You can also get some Chick-fil-A sandwiches and have the official flavors of the Cadet Student Network, both in pizza and chicken sandwich form. Your options are bountiful. It is a good time to be a listener, watcher, and enjoyer of CSN. Also got a lot of students working the broadcast tonight. Mentioned them before break, but also want to give another shout-out to Mason Jenkins, Charlie Hines, Joe Cunningham, James Moats, and I believe I left off Scotty Schultz.
And Max Adamski's here,
Scotty
too.
Rice. And Max Adamski. Scotty Rice, Max Adamski.
You got a whole bunch of cadets running around making this possible. We just get to talk.
And there's the kick. Bobbled. But this is Williams. He's hauled down inside his own 10-yard line. It'll be a long field for the Griffins. The Cadets fired up with the early tackle on special teams.
Nice coverage there by the Cadets. A misplay on the ball there by Kyron Williams. That gives CBC the ability to pin them deep and really force Vianney to take the whole field in order to score. We'll see what happens here with Vianney to start the second half as they get the ball. CBC really could use a 3-and-out or definitely forcing Vianney to punt here as they're pinned deep in their own territory.
Harris will take the snap. He's got Mitchell to his right. And he flips it to him. No correction, that is to Williams. So Kyron Williams getting more and more involved as this game goes on. He's going to pick up a yard or two.
He got about a yard on that play. He got tripped up really, really quickly as the safeties are coming down. And that's one of the things on those outside plays like that, what you'll see is they're going to do that, and then they're going to pull Harris back and look to come down and throw the ball as Boyd comes down and gets more and more involved in the run game.
Here's Harris. Looks to his left. Finds a man that is caught by an outstretched Hunter Barkham, the senior defensive back and wide receiver.
So that gives them a 3rd and short, so you're going to see the jumbo package right here, right away. This has been kind of the thing that's been the difference maker in my mind for Vianney is their ability to grind out these 3rd and shorts with their big offensive line and putting all these guys in the backfield with Williams and the Wildcat.
Here he is, Kyron Williams, up the middle. Again, is able to force a couple yards after contact with that first level, and he is going to pick up the first down, it would seem. Yes, chains are moving.
So you'll see regular personnel come back out for each team, and CBC needs to find a way to keep Vianney out of those 3rd and short situations where they can put that jumbo package in. With it being so short there, and Williams is so adept at running this, 3rd and less than a yard is pretty much a gimme for him on those plays.
Here's Harris, got Williams alongside as well, 2 wide receivers to his left, but that is Zerwig in motion. Harris is going to carry it to his right, gets around the corner, and he is going to be brought down by Cam Brown after a pickup of about 8. It's 7 or 8 yards.
So Vianney still getting the running game in big chunks here. CBC slowing them down and keeping them from breaking the big ones other than that big run by Tion Harris in the first half, but too much yardage, especially on first down right there. CBC's got to do a better job of forcing Harris to pull up, change directions. And officials timeout.
Been a number of these tonight as they get things sorted out. Looks like we got an issue with a strap on a helmet.
Is that our shoulder pad popped out of the jersey?
That was Carey over there. Also want to mention it's senior night. Try to let you know who these seniors are here in the second half. 29 of them involved in the CBC program. Snap to Harris. He's looking to his left side. He's trying to take a shot. And good coverage there. In fact, wonderful coverage by Malik Billingsley. The pass was intended for number 28. That is Fareed Cheeks.
So you had tight coverage right there. Tight coverage there. And there's where you see on that 2nd and short where you take a shot deep and see what you can do. A nice play there, even though it was incomplete. And now you go back to the jumbo package and see what CBC can do against this.
Williams. And he is able to pick up the first down. That's got to be 6 or 7 conversions from that formation alone.
And a lot of it's second effort. I mean, they're just getting in there, creating piles and bodies, and Harris is just kind of stepping through it. This is reminiscent, folks. If you've ever saw Eureka play in the 90s under Farrell Shelton, this is the same type of thing that he tried to do as CBC got set late there.
Yeah, we got penalty flags flying. Harris was carrying it around that right-hand side. Tackle by Simpson, but we're waiting to see what the flag is going to be. I did not see it, but again, play moving away
behind
from
the
you.
play, so I'm interested to see what they call here. They generally discourage any sort of extracurricular stuff behind the play where somebody can get hurt. Once the play moves away from you, they want you to kind of stop and you work your way back into it before you start making contact again.
9:26 to go here in this third quarter. The Cadets trailing 21-14.
A lot of talk going on here between the officials on what this call is going to be.
Personnel changes for the Cadets as well. And looks like we're going to get a call here. Nope. More talking. Gives us time to tell you that TJ's Pizza is about more than just pizza. They also offer a simple process to help your school, team, or organization raise money by selling delicious pizzas and desserts. Call TJ's
Wonder if they're
at
going to pick this up.
314-869-9404 for more information, or check them out at tjspizza.com. Thank you, TJ's.
Sorry about that. You were reading the commercial. I was kind of thinking out loud there. And we're going to get the call right here on Sportsmanlike Conduct on CBC. Ejection.
We have an ejected player. The CBC coaching staff is utterly bemused. Coach Pingle's waiting an explanation. Now, granted, we were looking at the ball. The flag was thrown behind the play. I am not sure if it was something done or said or even who it is. But somebody has been ejected from this game, and that somebody is wearing purple.
I'm judging by who's coming over here on the bench. It looks like it might be Presnard Dorless. I don't want to say for sure as he comes off the field and sits down and takes his helmet off.
Boy, that's a strange one. We certainly have nothing to question in the officials because we didn't see anything. So whatever they saw, we didn't or heard. And it is official. And it does look like it's Presnard Dorless as the CBC players are coming over to say, what happened? I think there's just as much confusion down there as there is up here. It is over, though, and we continue. 9 minutes, 23 seconds. Here are the Griffins. Kyron Williams, the ball carrier, goes around the right side. He's got a first down. He is brought down. That is a vital tackle there by Taylor Robinson. Because that was a first down, but that could have been way worse for the Cadets.
The CBC offense, right, and the CBC defense, it lacks a little bit of life and enthusiasm. They're playing on their heels a little bit. Sidelines a little down. The crowd needs to get into this game and help CBC get back, get back into this game. They need a little boost. The Vianney crowd has been very boisterous here tonight. They've definitely had the better of it.
Harris is going to take it. He's got Williams to his right. Finds him. Williams has space, but he can't find his feet. That is lucky for CBC. Again, Kyron Williams in the first half, first quarter, did almost nothing. Second quarter started to find some space in that jumbo formation. And now in this third quarter, they're finding him in the open field.
Well, they're trying to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and and he's one of the best as Harris limps around a little bit, or he might be okay and just kind of pretending because he's going to run a quarterback draw or something like that right here.
And Williams takes the handoff inside. He's going to get about 8 more there. Too easy right now for Kyron Williams as Tion Harris is struggling. He can't put any weight on his right foot. He's being helped off the field. We get a timeout. And Tion Harris has collapsed on the field. It looks like that right foot or ankle. He tried putting weight on it, then he couldn't put weight on it, but he was hobbling, and then he just dropped. So we certainly hope Tion Harris is okay. I mean, he's the heart and soul of this Vianney offense. Again, as a senior, he's been one of the leaders for years now. And you certainly hope he is okay.
So he's going to have to come out here, but this will be a jumbo sort of situation for them anyway. So we're going to be interested to see what this looks like for them at this point going forward.
And you talk about the player that they're waiting to see the status of. Tion Harris came into the game with a 62.6% completion percentage for 1,600 total yards, 21 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Not to mention the 640 rushing yards. This is a guy you do not want to be without. He opens up a lot of what they do. So certainly hope he is okay. Gives us a chance to tell you about some more of our sponsors. We mentioned Tim Kylo, we mentioned TJ's. We also have a new sponsor, that's Chick-fil-A. They're the official chicken sandwich of the Cadet Student Network. Those delicious Chick-fil-A sandwiches are available in CBC's concession stands. You'll want to grab a sandwich next time you join us for a game. Be sure to visit our friends at our favorite Chick-fil-A location on Manchester Road, just east of Ballas. Chick-fil-A is CSN's favorite pregame meal, and it should be yours too. Thank you, Chick-fil-A. Also,
Harris is still down on the field, but they've got the teams back out, ready to start back up, I guess, as soon as they get him off. I'm guessing maybe he's suffering from some cramps, but I can't, we didn't see anything happen, so nobody knows for sure.
And it kind of looked like cramp initially, but they weren't stretching it out. And he's going to make his way off the field under his own power, so that is good to see. Putting the weight on it. And we will resume play here. Under 8 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Still 21-14 Griffins. Griffins in the white, Cadets in the purple. It is the jumbo formation. Kyron Williams is going to take the snap. He's gone up the middle and found success every time they've done this. And there it is. Again, he gets past that first level. He's still going. He's going to get brought down after a gain of about 9. And he will have the Griffins on the 14-yard line of the CBC Cadets. Just like that, they're right on the doorstep.
They are, and, you know, CBC, I think, thought that play was stopped, and they kind of gave up on it. And, boys, you need to play to the whistle and wrap up and hold on and let everybody else get in there to make something happen.
Right now, CBC has no answer for this formation or for Kyron Williams up the middle. He's going to try to go wide, stretch it. And there it is again. He cuts back to the backside. Only Larry Williams can stop him, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Kyron Williams. And just like that, the Griffins open up a lead on the CBC Cadets. Don't find yourself saying that sentence too often in football here.
No, and, you know, so this is unfamiliar territory for CBC. So, you know, here's the deal. Going into the playoffs, this is going to be able to kind of test CBC's mettle and see what they have. You know, following the loss at CB Memphis, it rallied CBC and, you know, got them really focused. And, you know, we don't want to see a loss here tonight, especially not on senior night. But hopefully CBC's got something up their sleeve in order to make an answer here for the Griffins' running attack here.
And Jimmy Larman on for the extra point. That's good. So it will be 28-14 in favor of the Griffins. Got a replay for you here of the touchdown. There you see Williams going to start to the right, then try middle, and then finds door 3 on the left side, and Larry Williams just can't quite get there. Kyron Williams, such a speedy player.
Well, you know, they've been going straight up the middle and having good yards. I thought maybe trying to run any sort of play to the outside with the way they were doing it was a mistake, but CBC over-pursued on the play, gave a lane back on the cutback, and as a result, CBC's, you know, staring down a 2-touchdown deficit. There's still a lot of time left in this game as the Vianney fans are getting fired up here. And, you know, CBC's definitely physically capable enough to come back in this game. But, you know, we're going to see whether or not they've got the emotional fortitude to be able to come back in this game.
And you need something. You absolutely need something to get the CBC fans back into this game, whether that's a good hit, whether that's a good stop, or something on offense. You never know. A good return here. You need something to spark this place, and right now that is lacking for CBC.
It definitely is, and we're going to see here, and hopefully CBC's ready for the onside kick or any sort of pooch kick here on this play. I got a hunch they're not going to kick it down deep to Elijah Robinson. You know, right now the Vianney Golden Griffins have had everything kind of go their way in this particular game. CBC's misfired when they've gotten into their territory. They had the costly onside kick turnover, and they're staring down a 2-touchdown deficit.
Larman's kick. Not sure if it's onside kick or a mishit. We'll give him credit, say it was an attempted onside / pooch / something.
They gave CBC some field position there, which is interesting.
Again, makes you think it was maybe a mishit.
Well, I don't know. I know they got scared when they saw Elijah Robinson rumbling up the middle of the field, and you don't want to give CBC points back quickly. You know, we're going to see what CBC is made of right here on this particular drive. They need to give their defense some chance to regroup. Lots of possessions in a row, even though it was broken up by halftime.
7:25 to go here in this third quarter. You're watching the Cadet Student Network. Tom Eichwald alongside Chris Maris. CBC trying to dig back from a deficit, 14-point deficit to be exact. Gabbert's going to take this snap after he sends Walton in motion. Handoff to Bradford inside. Bradford picks up about 8, maybe 7.
So they sent Walton in motion there, tried to set everything going this particular direction strong. And that opened up on the backside. So there you see CBC trying to establish that running game. They need to do that a lot here, give their defense a chance to regroup.
Gabbert's got backs on either side of him. He's got Walton and Brown here on the near side. Carson Buttemeyer, the wide receiver, on the left side. Snap to Gabbert. Pressure coming from the left side. Borderline hold, but no flag. And Gabbert's going to pull it down, run up the middle, and he's got enough for the first down. Vianney saying there was a hold over there.
They're calling third down. I think the side judge on the top side did not do a very good job getting in on his spot. And as a result, I don't think we got a very favorable spot on that. I thought Brett was in for a first down there.
It certainly did look like it. I wonder if the officials are going to talk it over. They're taking an official timeout.
We've got to do something about number 11, Nate Thurman. And that young man, along with Weary, is wreaking havoc. Looks like they're going to measure.
Yeah, they are going to measure. Zach Early was trying to match up against him there. Looked like Zach might have gotten away with one. But still, Thurman asking a lot of questions of him. Chain gang coming out.
We'll see how that.
It's a close one. We can't see from here.
They got to straighten it up. First
down.
First down. There we go, CBC.
It's a good break for CBC. You hear the applause. Maybe something to get CBC fans back into it a little. And if all you're hoping for to energize you is a measurement using a chain and two sticks, you could probably do with a little bit more excitement, but we'll take what we can get at this point. Backs either side of Gabbert. Brown near side. Walton far side. Budmeyer is a tight end on that right side. And Bradford is only able to pick up about 2.
The way their defense is playing, I think anything straight at them is problematic. You need to get them off balance and get them on some angles, the counters and stuff like that, but a straight blast play like that's going to be a problem until you get them on their heels a little bit more.
6 minutes, third quarter. Gabbert takes a snap, 2nd and 10. Ball on the 50-yard line. Thurman again asking questions on that far side. We got a flag downfield. That is going to be a pass interference called against number 6, Devin Devers, on Cam Brown.
You hear a lot of booing. I mean, he tried to sell that he didn't do anything, but he was holding Brown up, and if he doesn't, Brown's in stride down the side, down that seam for a touchdown. So,
and the side judge talking to the referee, making sure they get their call right. The teams have not moved. Flag is back. Nobody's moved anywhere. They're not going to pick this one up, are they?
Oh, looks like they are.
That one seemed fairly clear-cut. Cameron Brown was clearly off balance. There it is. Okay, they are going to go with it.
Oh.
And they're going to get a personal foul against CBC to offset. I can't really find an explanation for that based on what I saw. It's possible that there was something we missed, but
personal foul is an actual act of something, and the officiating in this game has been a little suspect in spots, and doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of disrupted the flow of the game.
That's a huge call, too. That is not offsetting penalties on something, somebody said something after the play.
Right.
That's offsetting penalties on a potentially 30-yard penalty if you go with the spot foul. That is absolutely massive. So we hope there was something there. But for CBC, at the very least, you can say it's extremely frustrating. And Gabbert now sorting it out with the official. More time being taken up getting everything sorted. 5:51 remaining on the clock. We've still got officials talking to people. I don't think anybody really knows what's going on. And, of course, one official goes over to talk to a coach, the other officials, and we get a timeout now. It's an official timeout. I'd say I've seen more official timeouts in this game than I have in a while, Chris.
Well, it's just disrupting the flow of the game. It's what, 9 o'clock, 8:51, and we're still got 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. There's been a lot of penalties, and the officials should have been running out of the middle of the field as soon as Vianney went out there to start the game, and so.
Does give the PA address announcer, Tom Murray, a great opportunity to remind everybody that there are a couple of cars apparently parked blocking the entrance and exit. That's not good. Tom Murray, of course, a busy guy lately getting ready for the Fantastics, longest running show in musical theater history. That will be brought to you this weekend here in the Gundaker Theater, 7:30 on Saturday night and 2:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. More information on the website. We will also have that for you here on CSN if you want to watch it. Starting Monday, you can watch it on demand. The officials still talking out here. We've got officials talking to each other all over the place. Last time we had a conversation this long, it resulted in an ejection. I'm not suggesting anything here, but you get a little nervous from time to time. This is a great opportunity to tell you that the folks at Mercy Sports Medicine continue to take great care of our student athletes. They're ranked as a top-tier Catholic health system nationally, and they offer the highest quality health care for students and families. We know that firsthand here at CBC. Athletic trainer Kristen Jeans and the team at Mercy take great care of our young men. To learn more, visit mercy.net. We also want to thank East Bay, who is now the official apparel provider of cadet athletics. East Bay and Under Armour keep our players and coaches looking good on the field, and they make you look good too. Keep your eye out for our CBC online team stores or shop anytime at eastbay.com. We are entering about minute 3 or 4 of an official conversation that all started with an apparent, and it was called, pass interference downfield. Cam Brown was in space, and he was dragged by Devin Devers. Ball was in the air, pass interference, spot foul. However, the official also spotted some sort of personal foul against CBC that canceled out. Those were the calls. Say what you want about them, they were made. All of this conversation has ensued after those calls were made. Conversation has been had between the officials and both benches. It seems that the Vianney coaching staff is the more interested of these two coaching staffs. That is where the head referee has spent most of his time. One official keeps coming over to update Coach Pingle, but frustrating up here in the booth to have no idea what's going on. And it's getting to the point where players are starting to tighten up. The breeze is starting to, it's getting a little bit of a chill in the air, certainly plenty warm, but players tighten up. They almost need to stretch. Well, I mean, we've been about 6 minutes now since a play was. Yeah,
Coach Day over there is pretty animated about whatever he wants to have happen on this. I don't know if he's looking for another ejection or he doesn't agree with the penalties. I really don't know. The White Hat seems to not know what to deal with here, but he's been running back and forth across the field. And now he's walking to the judge over the back judge over the ball. And this has got to be a rules interpretation. But here's the thing. Unless somebody's protesting the rules, and if they are, they need to produce a rule book and show and prove the officials wrong and have an official protest. Other than that, they're just wasting time.
Players are coming over to the sideline. They're sending players over to the sideline. I mean, we could be looking at a 10-minute break here for what was a pass interference downfield and then something else that nobody really saw. This is to the point. This is too good a football game. And being a referee is hard. I am not saying we could do it any better. But when you get a good football game, you got a good juicy one here, and everybody just wants to enjoy the game, and then you end up with 8 minutes of referees talking. Now they're walking off to where the pass interference occurred and then walking it back to assess the penalty yards, I guess.
Why?
Have you seen this before,
necessary?
Chris?
No. I don't know what is going on here. You got some very unhappy fans.
Say something for Christian unity. I will say both sets of fans are equally annoyed by this, so that is something good. A reminder that we all have things in common. Still 5:51 on the clock. I wonder if you actually go to announcer school, Chris. Do they prepare you for this? Do they tell you what you talk about? Do you have a playbook of what to talk about when you have a 10-minute delay?
Well, when I go to announcer school, I'll let you know. But, as it stands right now, I'm completely befuddled. Oh, so the way this all works out is CBC gets a first down out of it because they mark off the 15, which gives the CBC the first down. Then they walk back the 15 for the personal foul because it happened after the play, and it ends up being 1st and 10 back here from where the penalty took place. So CBC got a first down out of this play the way it ultimately turned out.
Okay, a first down and second halftime later. We are playing football again. Gabbert's going to take the snap. He's got Bradford to his right. Budemeyer in motion. And fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. Gabbert under all kinds of pressure, throwing off the back foot, but finds Cam Brown. Looking back across the middle. Cam Brown is brought down after a gain of about 8.
You got an 8 or 9 on that play. A nice little play there. They were trying to sneak the tight end out into the flat, and the outside linebacker for Vianney ran with Carson Budemeyer the whole time. And so Brown was just sitting there on a hitch, and I just think they need to do a lot of that. Just try to get Brown to push up.
And pressure coming off the right side. Handoff to Bradford. Bradford in space. He is brought down. He was slowed down initially by Hunter Barkham and then brought down by Jordan Guilfoyle. Good tackle closing him down from the backside. 5:14 to go.
Great play there by CBC. Ran that play right at the blitz. The blitzer would have probably had a line on Bradford and ultimately took himself right out of the play.
Bradford in the backfield still. Brown to the right. Walton and Williams to the left. Here's the throw to Cameron Brown. It's thrown in too far inside. And running out of space there was Devers. But that ball thrown just a little bit off.
A little too far inside based on the coverage. And, either Brown's got to get inside more on his route or Gabbert needs to push that ball to the outside and based on the coverage. But not a bad idea right there on first down. Brown went into defensive back mode right there just to make sure that Devers couldn't intercept that ball.
Essentially, you got a 30-yard ball thrown to the left shoulder instead of the right shoulder. Those are the margins we're talking about for your frame of reference. Impressive how accurate Brett Gabbert can be. And Bradford is stopped cold. Appears to be okay. Brought down there by number 8,
Qadri Talib. Nice play by Qadri Talib. So now it's 3rd and long for CBC on this play.
And 4 minutes, 36 seconds. We have another stoppage here. Somebody's helmet.
So it looks like they're putting 2 over the top of Brown here.
And now Gabbert. He's got Bradford to his right again. 3 receivers to his left side. He's going to go one-on-one. Cam Brown, one-handed catch. Cam Brown holds it in. That's a touchdown. That is one of the best catches you are going to see this season. What a catch. What a throw. Cadets right back in this game. We talked about needing something more than chain and a couple of sticks to get everybody excited. I think we found it.
Well, let's hope so. That's the 3rd touchdown by Cam Brown on this play. That is a huge, huge play with 4 minutes and 20 seconds here. And hopefully Coach Dimovitz and the CBC defense are working on a solution for the Vianney running game with that extended time that they had.
So with that, and now we got a penalty flag down.
They got encroachment on Vianney, so my guess is the CBC will decline that.
And we'll have McGraw kicking another extra point. That is what you needed if you're the CBC offense. And let's go back. We promise we won't dwell on it anymore, but we go back to the delay. The officials end up, we think, getting the call right. Frustrating it took that long. Hard to be an official, of course, but they get the call right. And the loss of yardage because of the personal foul does not end up costing CBC. That is the good story here, if you are a Cadet fan, as McGraw puts it through. You would hate to see a situation where the ball getting pulled back ends up costing CBC. You know, it changes the possession drastically. Fortunately, due to some brilliant hands and concentration from Cam Brown, the Cadets are able to pull it off. We do have a replay for you, which we're going to watch for sheer entertainment. There you see Gabbert, again the pressure, but he's able to get the throw off. And then it's just Cam Brown doing Cam Brown things.
Well, and you see Gabbert there kind of short-arming the ball a little bit. He's just trying to put touch on it and make it easy for Brown to go get the ball down the middle there. There's nobody over the top, so he doesn't need to throw a laser beam. And that's part of what makes this a catchable ball for Cam Brown is there's not tons on the ball. He gets it up there, be able to stick that hand out, and do great. And that's also why Cam Brown's a Nebraska recruit and highly sought-after player out of St. Louis. So
that was just cool. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this third quarter. The Cadets kicking off downwind. This will be Dylan McGraw. He's going to let fly with this one. Williams probably the preferred returner for Vianney. Also back there is Ward. I think that's number 33. There's a 3 involved. And it is going to sail in the end zone.
Well, that's about as good a ball as I've seen Dylan McGraw kick all year to the back of the end zone. Great job there, no return. And we like those. I know that last one ended up being, they got in deep, but you like it to where your guys don't have to do extra running down there and pushing it hard. So.
And now we see how the CBC defense is going to respond. Little momentum swing with a highlight reel touchdown catch from Cam Brown. So you want to see, can the defense match? Can the intensity be ratcheted up for this CBC defense? And it is on that first play.
So in week 3, I think it was week 3, when CBC was over at Edwardsville, that game was kind of teetering, and we saw a huge interception by Tyler Walton in that game that kind of turned the tide. And it was a highlight style play. He returned the ball well across midfield. CBC quickly turned it into points off of Bradford. Maybe that catch by Cam Brown can have a similar effect here. Granted, it was an offensive play as opposed to a big defensive play, but the defense has had a chance, hopefully, to regroup, figure some things out. If they can put themselves in down and distance to keep them out of that jumbo package, I think CBC can slow Vianney down.
Under 4 to go here in this third quarter. Griffins, the good news is that was Tion Harris carrying the ball, so he appears to be okay. Again, couldn't put any weight on his right hand, so he appears to be in good shape. Pass thrown, no catch. They may get Billingsley with some contact there. The wide receiver was Fareed Cheeks. Ball underthrown a little bit. Billingsley got trapped, really.
Well, he's got to get his head around. And the biggest thing on that particular play, he's got to be able to read the receiver's eyes and get his head turned around on that particular play. As you hear that, it's a really tricky play. Face guarding, I don't believe, is a call in high school football, but nonetheless, they felt like there was enough going on there. Coach Pingle not happy about the play, and maybe they felt like there was a push-off there too.
Coach Pingle, a guy who knows a few things about the art of receiving. Just a few. Talented player at the college and even professional levels. Harris flips to Williams.
He just kind of trots it out of bounds. Looks like about 4. They did that into the boundary, that little pitch into the boundary. They didn't give themselves a lot of space, but I think they were trying to hope they could catch CBC overloaded and get him down the sideline. This matchup between Malik Billingsley and number 28,
Cheeks.
It's been a good one. Billingsley's gotten the better of it so far until that one play right there. And on all the plays, Malik's got to find a way to get his head turned around on that a little bit.
And it is Williams to the left of Harris. Harris is going to pull it down, throws. That was complete to Devers.
Dropped it right in his lap as he slid down, and Vianney's on the move again, and CBC's got to find an answer for this offense. Now Harris is throwing the ball a little bit, and they're getting yardage on this, not in huge chunks, but effectively, and based on the way the running game is going. CBC's loading up on the run, and they're trying to find soft spots on the pass right now.
Here's Harris. Williams again to his right. He's going to run right. Cuts back inside, tries to go back to the left side. Waiting for him is Anthony Tillman. Happy to help him to the turf. Also, Lionel Boyd Jr. involved on the tackle as we go inside of 3 minutes in third quarter.
Great balance by Harris there. Looked like he was going to go down. Ended up being able to get back to his feet and cut back. Made a nice play, and Harris is cramping up or something again. He's not able to stay on his feet. So he's going to go down, and my guess is you might see the jumbo package here. And I can't say that I would disagree with that, other than it's going to take some of their defensive players and put them in a position to have to play a lot more downs both ways going through the rest of this game. as Harris is just not able to keep his cramps, or whether he's got a pulled muscle or what the story is.
Again, we hope he is okay. Players make their way to the sideline. We do have a moment, and we want to let you know that there are a lot of things going on at CBC. Last spring, CBC earned full accreditation for the 90th consecutive year. We are proud to report that our school received the highest accrediting score ever given by the leader of our review team, who has done over 30 reviews in his career, and the highest score he's ever seen. So we are proud to say that CBC is stronger than ever. Factor in the 55 students who are earning Bright Flight honors, 6 more students receiving recognition from the prestigious National Merit Scholarship Program, earning more than 2,600 hours of college credit. Honors program ACT average over 30. Top 10% of our student body folks averaging almost a 33 on the ACT. Yes, you heard that right, 33 on the ACT. We have some tremendously talented kids in the classroom. We have them on the field, on the ice. We have them on the stage. You can see them this weekend in the Fantastics. Just a very proud time to be a member of the CBC family. Also want to take a moment, if you want to join the CBC family, maybe you know a grade school student, maybe you are a grade school student who might be interested in being a future cadet, please pay us a visit. Experience CBC for yourself. Our 8th grade admissions team can be found online at cbchs.org/experiencecbc. Every 8th grader should schedule his official visit to CBC today. Spend a day with us and experience what CBC is all about. Also got the open house coming up on Sunday, November 5th. Great opportunity to experience CBC. And also the annual CBC auction, Saturday, December 2nd. A lot of fun to help support CBC and celebrate all the good things that are happening. Tion Harris still on the ground. This time it looks like they are maybe stretching out that calf. So it does look like it's maybe a calf cramp.
And the way they're working on it and taking their time with it, he's going to have a hard time being effective in this game. We'll see whether or not that changes Vianney. I mean, it's going to change Vianney's game plan on some level, even if he could come back. This game's important, Tom. It's an MCC championship game, and both these teams want to win. But both these teams have bigger prizes in mind. Vianney wants to repeat as Class 5 state champs, and, CBC wants to get back there after being there 2 consecutive years in 14 and 15 and getting to the semifinals last year. They want to make a return trip, and, in the end, this game is just a tune-up for the playoffs. You don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want anybody to get ejected, which we've already seen. And you don't want to have an adverse effect on either of these teams' seasons from this point forward. Just keep things in perspective. I'm a CBC fan. I want to see them win. I sure as heck don't like seeing them lose to Vianney or anybody else for that matter. But, if this is what galvanizes them in order to get them ready for a state championship run, and that's the linchpin, then go for it. With Vianney last year, they played really, really well against CBC in a, 45-21 or 28 win or whatever it was. And that game was close in the first half before CBC pulled away. But Vianney's felt like that game set them up for their run. Okay, they felt like, okay, if we can play with CBC, we can play with anybody. And sure enough, they rode that all the way to a championship.
Inside of 3 to go here in this third quarter. You are watching the Cadet Student Network. My name is Tom Eichwald, and I'm bringing you the game. Sitting right next to me, Chris Maris. Got a lot of students making the broadcast possible tonight. We got James Moats, we got Mason Jenkins, we got Charlie Hines, Max Adamski. Lots of changes here. Also Scotty Rice and Joe Cunningham. We got a timeout being called.
Well, coming
CBC.
Coming out of that long injury timeout, CBC wanted to see what they wanted to do.
Well, and
as soon as they got lined up, Coach Dimovitz has the green light from Coach Pingle to be able to call that timeout and talk with his defense and try to figure out a way to slow this jumbo or double tight power package, whatever you want to call it, down. And really, to be quite honest with you, that's this one formation and one series type of play is really the difference in the game right now in my mind. It definitely set up and squared away the last touchdown that Vianney had, and it set up the one before that as well with their ability to be able to grind out those third and shorts, fourth and short yardage plays.
And coming out of the timeout, Vianney also hustling to the line out of these timeouts and breaks. They want to get going right away, and they want to make CBC they want to put CBC in a little bit of confusion if they can. It's a confusing formation anyway, even if you don't sprint out. Here's Williams. He's going to pick up.
Wow, there you go.
He picked up about 1 and then got held back. So there's not much doing there. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 right inside of midfield, ball at the 45-yard line of the Cadets. Absolutely huge to get a hold here. You're not going to say it's a must-hold situation with over 2 to go in the 3rd quarter, but in terms of momentum, you hold them here, you score, tie game, let's go. Snap to Williams. Robinson comes in and gets him. Robinson around the edge, brings him down. No, correction. That is not Robinson. That is number 58. That's Zach Early, another senior on senior night.
Is that fit? No, that's Josh Plore, actually. We're getting it all.
Is that
I can't tell.
56?
Maybe that's 56.
Maybe that was Sean McCann.
Okay.
The way the numbers bunch up around the shoulder pads.
On the previous play, they had Elijah Robinson bobbing around, almost spying Kyron Williams. This is an interesting call right here on 4th down by Vianney.
4th and 4, jumbo package. Williams, who else? Thinks about throwing. He's being chased down by FaZe Thomas. Closed down. He is brought down. He's brought down. Tillman gets there, but the tackle is made by, is that Austin Simpson, number 44?
It looks like it was. Great set of series right there for Vianney.
Potentially the biggest tackle of the game made by your punter.
Well,
you can't love it more, can
you? He's a captain, and he's also a key on that defensive line until he's had some illness and some injuries. But what a huge series for the defense on CBC. And with 1:33 still in the 3rd quarter, mind you, we still have the whole 4th quarter to play. CBC gets the ball back, and with a lot of momentum right here, seems like they may have found a little bit of an answer to that jumbo package.
Big drive for CBC right here. 1.5 to go here in this 3rd quarter. Gabbert has Bradford to his right. 3 wide receivers right, 1 left. Bradford goes to his left side. He's able to get the 1st down. He's still going. Bradford down the sideline. He is brought down, but only at the 20-yard line. Huge run for Brian Bradford.
That's one of the few times you've seen CBC try to press the outside with Bradford on the stretch play. And it worked to perfection. They had everything set up over here. He went short side and went down the sideline. And, 33 was deep enough to keep him from getting into the end zone.
Huge run. Snap to Gabbert. That is an incomplete pass. Ooh. Walton went down.
It was a forward pass, but it's one that Tyler should have handled.
Well, and Tyler got hit very awkwardly at the end. He's moving a little bit slow. He appears to be okay, though.
Brett needs to settle down just a little bit and make a cleaner pass right there.
19 seconds here to go in the 3rd quarter. Gabbert's going to take the snap. Pulls it down himself. He's going to go up the middle. And forward momentum is stopped just past the line of scrimmage. And he's still entangled. Brought back.
3rd down here. I think they were kind of able to pull their own quarterback draw look. Got to believe this is 2-down territory for CBC. That might be why you saw the run play there and the bubble screen on the previous play.
And
I'd like to see him go up top down here to the bottom to Cam in the corner.
2 backs. Look left. Tyler Walton underneath. He's going to pick up the 1st down, but no more. Carson Buttermeyer did a nice job bringing the other corner and the safety with him. Opened up Tyler Walton underneath. Good pass.
Nice little drag route underneath, clearing, and Tyler Walton picks that up and gets upfield, and that's why he's a coveted prospect. If he had a little bit more height, everybody be after him as well.
So it's 1st and 5 for the Cadets on the 5-yard line. Bradford brought down in the backfield. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, number 8 off the edge there. Nobody accounted for that. I think Brett needs to boot out on that a little bit and try to hold that guy to the outside. So You see Julian Williams checking in for Antoine Higgins.
Yeah, I don't know that CBC is going to run a play in this quarter. They got 10 seconds to go on the game clock, more than that on the play clock. Are they going to try to run one more? Similar situation in the first quarter. They didn't. A little more momentum now. They are going to run it. Gabbert to the right side. Cam Brown, touchdown! Number 4 for number 8. That is a touchdown and potentially a game-tying score for CBC.
What a great play right there for CBC in order to do what you need to do right there.
Touchdown number 4. That brings Cam Brown to 11 touchdowns for the year. He's only 2 behind Bradford. I didn't think he'd catch him.
Well,
why not? Go for it.
They've made a concerted effort to stop Bradford, and they underestimated Cam Brown in this play. Now, he's got a ways to go to get to Rayon Simmons 7 in a single game, but definitely a great, great game here for Cam Brown.
And snap comes, hold, kick. That is good. We've got a tie game. I believe Rayon Simmons had a few rushing yards in that game as well. Only a mere 535 on 24 attempts.
533 in that particular game.
2 yards off.
Which is a pretty amazing feat. We got a replay coming up here for you, folks.
There it is, and that's just sheer quickness by Cam Brown to get inside right off the line. That's the sprinter in him.
Well, and he's really, folks, you know, everybody thinks, oh, he's a great player, this, that, or the other. Well, Cam's really a self-made man in many regards. When he came here after transferring during his freshman year, he had to sit out his sophomore year per the transfer rules. So
the Cadet fans finally back into the game, here. Standing and chanting
on
CBC.
The fourth down play we got right here.
Yeah, there
Mason Jenkins, our producer here, queuing me up on this play.
Robinson makes the initial contact, and Austin Simpson is right there to pile on, and along with him was another cadet whose number is not visible.
Nonetheless, a huge play. But as I was saying, for Cam, as a sophomore playing in the junior varsity, I mean, he was a receiving threat, but he was more of a return guy, a guy they would run jet sweeps with out of the backfield, and they would just use his speed. And, it wasn't until that offseason after that where he really, really started developing as a receiver, developing his route running, working with Coach Pingle and Coach Workman on all those sorts of things, and has really become a very, very dynamic player and picked up a lot of the slack left by the injury of Cam Babb.
12 minutes remaining in this game. We're at the start of the fourth quarter. This being the most energetic and exciting of the TJ's Pizza Cadet kickoffs so far in the game.
Well, we're kicking into the wind here a little bit, and we've had a couple of touchbacks. We'll see whether Dylan's got the leg for it.
That's a tough ask. The wind's blowing a little bit. It's been picking up throughout the game. He's going to have to really put the laces through this one.
All right, Coach Pingle called him over there a little bit. He's going to change it up. I guess they changed the play clock. The whistle hadn't blown for him to be able to kick the ball, but they were running the play clock there. So
here it is. This is Dylan McGraw, another senior on senior night. You're going to put every bit of what he's got in this one. Ooh, went under it. That might have been the design.
That young man didn't want anything to do with that ball.
That might have been the design.
Maybe it was, but 34.
That is Jacob McCauley.
He's a sophomore.
5'9", 140 sophomore.
He didn't want no. You saw his knees wobbling as that ball was coming down. So,
but credit to Jacob. He did a nice job of pulling it in and getting on the turf. It's exactly what I would have done, except without the catching the ball part. I think I would have just hit the turf.
So here we go. We're going to see what CBC's got. Tion Harris kind of hobbles out there a little bit. Yeah. He looks a little ginger as he heads back out there.
Does that take the run off the table? We will find out very soon here in this quarter. He's going to hand off inside to Ward. Ward being chased down, brought down by FaZe Thomas. FaZe Thomas got a few inches and pounds on him, and he just manhandles him to the ground.
Well, he does. He gets a hold of him like a bear and just mauled him to the ground. And, here we go, folks. As I look at my YouTube thing, we've got 451 people watching this game tonight. Thank you for joining us on the Cadet Student Network. That's a great number, and you're seeing a great game. I hope we're doing a good job bringing it to you. So keep watching as this is going to come down to the wire, folks.
Yeah. Rolling right, Harris. And that one looked like it hit turf. It did.
Yeah, that I was concerned the way that went down that was going to be maybe an official called first completed pass, but thankfully they saw that ball skip off the turf the way I did. I'm not partial or anything.
No, again, we make no qualms. We are the Cadet Student Network. We're both wearing purple.
Yep. So every day just about, Tom, every day.
Pretty much. I believe you've accumulated a little bit of purple.
A little
over the
bit
years.
over my 19 years here at
I'm
CBC.
getting there. All right, crowd into it. The CBC crowd going nuts. 3rd and 8. Ball on their own 27-yard line. We've got a tie game, very different situation.
Oh.
And we've got a tackle. Ward is brought down in the backfield. That is by number 94.
I guess 84, Elijah Robinson.
Elijah Robinson, 84.
Now, I that looked like a trick play. The way he got the ball, the way he pulled up as soon as he got the ball, I looked downfield. I didn't see anything. I did see linemen downfield. I wonder if that was going to be a pitch and then a screen to Kyron Williams. But
4th and 8, the punt from Williams. Ooh, don't touch that. Lonnell Boyd chasing it down. He is going to go for it. Bobbles it a little bit, but he's able to pull it in. Gets about 5-8 yards, maybe 10 to 12 all told. Frankly, he gets right back to where he was standing in the first place.
Well, with their punt formation, you gotta keep them honest. You can't you can't play it, and you almost can't put a returner back there. So Lonnell, once they see them roll out the rugby punt, he's bailing quick from a position of strength and trying to get underneath that ball. So, the one thing is that's a line drive punt. If you can get some push up there in the front and get a piece of that, that could be a disaster for Vianney. But we're going to see what happens here. CBC gets the ball back with a lot of momentum.
Big opportunity for the Cadets here. Tie game. They have been trailing since the end of the second quarter. Just regained the equilibrium as the third quarter gave way to the fourth. And now it is tied with 10.5 to go. Of course, they don't end these games as ties. MCC title on the line. Pride on the line.
So Higgins trying to find some room up underneath there, and it's just not happening. I'd like to see CBC maybe try to press the edge there, get a little bit, maybe get a chip down here on Thurman and see if they can't catch the edge and put Bradford or Higgins one-on-one with one of these corners.
Gabbert's got backs on either side of him. It's Bradford and Higgins. 2 wide receivers right. Carson Buttermeyer, the tight end on the left side. And Gabbert looks at Buttermeyer, looks off. He's going to pull it down and run. He gets the first down. He's across midfield, and Gabbert is going to get all the way to the 43-yard line. Big gain for Brett Gabbert. Just when you're starting to get worried about his passing ability, his ability to find elite receivers, he'll pull it down and run on you, and he is surprising with his athleticism and his feet.
He's a tremendous athlete. He's got good foot speed. You just don't like throwing him out there to run the ball a lot, but nice play there, scramble when he saw nothing happening and got chased out of the pocket.
Clock winds down to 9:43. Gabbert has Bradford to his left. 3 wide receivers left, 1 right. That is Cam Brown over there on the right-hand side. Down midfield, Tyler Walton. Walton around the right side. Can he sneak in? Tyler Walton dives. They're
calling him out of bounds.
They're calling him out at the 2. Folks, there was not a referee within 10 yards of him. They're saying he's out of bounds. He is furious. He cannot believe it, but the Cadets trying to get to the line.
But you look at CBC hustling up to the line. They're getting their play in, and Vianney's struggling a little bit right now. They're tired. Those guys have been playing a lot both ways.
Quick snap. Gabbert, he's got Bradford to his left. He's going to hand it to him. Bradford up the middle. Can he get in? He does! Touchdown, Brian Bradford! Touchdown, Brian Bradford! CBC takes the lead.
Now, that's Brian had to be saying, "Hey, Cam's catching me."
I was going to say.
Cam's catching me. I got to get another one here. So
Cam's probably got a smirk on his face under that face mask. He knows he's going to have to get a few more to catch him.
Huge scramble play right there by Brett Gabbert. The key situation to get a first down for CBC, set up that pass play where they faked the run, pump faked, and then caught Tyler Walton dragging across.
And McGraw on to try to make it 35-28. He is able to do that. He doesn't miss a whole lot of those. So the Cadets take the lead. Everybody around here is breathing a little bit better, but you've got a very, very talented Vianney offense about to come back onto the field. We've got a replay for you over here. Unfortunately, we don't have a replay of Walton's foot, but it doesn't matter. Bradford's able to run it in.
Nice play on Bradford. After contact, driving his feet, getting that touchdown.
And say what you want about power, you also got to have the eyes and the brain to be able to recognize where your power is going to be best spent. He found a little bit of a crease, and he's able to make it work. That was all he needed. We do have a replay of that pass.
Mason Jenkins
Man,
working hard here to get this next replay on that pass play as we get ready for this next kickoff.
There you see the pump fake to Budemeyer.
There's nobody around him.
Yeah, it's a tough one to see if you're an official. We're going to slow it down.
Slow-mo.
Look at this replay. As we crowd around the TV, the referee,
his left foot might have kicked down as he was diving in. But his knee never hits. It's a question of whether that foot hits out of bounds right there, and it looks like it might have.
The ball was whistled down at about the 2.
So that looks like maybe his airborne foot came down, his left foot came down on the right side of his body, touched the out of bounds, and hey, here's the deal. CBC's got a touchdown, and they ate a few more clicks off the clock from doing it.
True. 9:15 to go. TJ's serving up another touchdown kickoff for the Cadets. That one's looped into the middle of the field by McGraw, brought in by Ward that time.
Well, now that CBC's kicking into the wind, they're content to pop that up and try to force Vianney to come up underneath and make that play. I wonder once Vianney, if CBC scores again, whether Vianney's going to bring a guy up underneath that a little bit more, and then CBC will try to do something different.
So there are 9 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in this game. It's been a wild one. The Cadets get out to an early lead on the first possession. Vianney matches. Cadets take a 14-7 lead. Vianney matches. Vianney then scores 2 unanswered touchdowns in the first half and second and third quarters. The Cadets respond here at the start of the fourth. And we get a flag here. We get a false start going against Vianney. All of a sudden, Vianney a little bit jumpy under the pressure from CBC. We're going to learn a lot about this Vianney team in the next 9 minutes.
Well, and to be honest with you, I mean, no matter what happens for Vianney or CBC, this is gut check time. This is getting them ready for the playoffs. This is a great matchup for them, as long as everybody comes out healthy and unscathed, to be ready for the pressure of playing in that state championship run.
Harris is going to take the snap. He's got Williams to his left. Correction, that's Mitchell to his left. Harris is going to air it out. He's going deep. Almost brought in by Zerwig, Zach Zerwig, who's got himself a touchdown. He scored the first for Vianney. He is almost able to haul that one in.
Well, now you see Tyler Walton in at corner for CBC for Malik Billingsley, and I think now that you're into the fourth quarter late, you want your seniors to be able to make the play here, and let them finish this off. Malik did a fine job so far, and he might get some play here as we go along, but we'll see what goes. Option play.
Harris flips to Mitchell. Mitchell around the left side. He's got space. He's got speed. He is going to be brought down inside the CBC 40. And he's brought down by Lonnell Boyd Jr. as well as Jaden Brown, who did nicely to close him down. That's a lot of speed from a big man.
Yes, it is, and you saw a burst there, and CBC got a little sloppy on their perimeter play on that option. Tyler couldn't get off that block and get in there to help him change his direction. So
Harris takes the snap, looking to his left-hand side, throws to Zerwig. Zerwig brought down by Walton. As we go inside of 9 minutes, 8:37 to be exact, 35-28, CBC.
Folks, if you're watching this game, I wouldn't go away. I think we're going to have a photo finish here before it's all said and done.
Harris takes the snap. Hands it off inside to Mitchell. And Mitchell is hauled down after no gain.
Now, I would equate Mitchell very similarly to our Elijah Robinson. And here's what I'm going to say. Elijah doesn't do well when he dances. It's straight ahead, and it looks like Mitchell's a very similar player to that. The fact that he was dancing around right there was not a good situation for him. He just needs to hit that hole and get what he can get.
3rd and 4. Wonder what formation we're going to see here. Williams in the inside. He's brought down The Cadets hold on 3rd and 4. I have a feeling we'll see him again on 4th and 4.
Got to believe Vianney's going for it right here on 4th and 4 and 4th and 3.
7-point game, 7 minutes, 37 seconds to go. We're going to see the jumbo formation again. Now the CBC fans are into it. They were quiet for a while, but no longer. Snap direct to Williams. Williams around the left-hand side. He is going to get brought down right at the line. It's going to depend on the spot. CBC insists he did not make it. It looks like they're not going to give it to him. CBC ball.
Yeah, I saw Anthony Tillman running off the field excited. He saw that spot, and that's the second time in a row now. And one of the things I think you're going to see, if Vianney's got a pass play that comes out of that formation, I think the next time you get a 3rd and short or 4th and short, you're going to see them go to it. I can tell you, last year we played against that formation on the lower level, and we had them stopped. We did the same thing. It was a tight game, and they beat us because they were able to complete a little dump pass over the top of that when everybody was funneled in. They snuck a guy through, and that was the difference in the game. We lost 17-14. Now, that's lower-level football, but that's still based on their varsity scheme.
And the principles work throughout the program generally. Snap, handoff to Bradford. Bradford around the left side. All of a sudden, the field looks a lot bigger. Lots of open spaces for both these teams. We're seeing big gains as the legs get tired on these defenses. That it's been a very, very hard game out there for both of them, and you're starting to see it pay off for both offenses. 7 minutes, 13 seconds to go. 7-point game. CBC has used a timeout. Vianney has not. Ball in the 40, 1st and 10. Gabbert backs either side. High snap, pulls it down. He gets pressure in the pocket, and he is brought down. That's going to be the first sack of the game, and it's going to come to Joe Lewis.
Yeah, that was a tough play. The snap was high. Brett couldn't get his eyes upfield, and they got some good pressure right there. I don't know if they've rotated some new bodies in there, but I know Weary and Thurman have been a little quiet here, and you look at their body language, they're dragging a little bit. But we'll see what they've got left in the tank with 6.5 left in the game.
Yep, 2nd and 14. Ball on the CBC 36. We are in the 4th quarter of a good one, folks. Gabbert calls Walton in motion. Fakes the handoff to Walton. Gabbert looks for Budemeyer. Budemeyer on the left side. He loses it. The ball's on the ground. He was down. I think they have to call him down, and they do. Very clearly on the ground. His hands and forearms had hit by the time the ball popped out.
Communications director Pat Walsh standing next to me here, pointing at the ground with his hand. You know, he saw that, and as we all did.
Well, and he knows the far side judge is watching us up here in the booth. He knows he's got a direct line.
Big down here for CBC.
We'll tell you how Pat Walsh saved some money last year in just a second. Gabbert takes a snap. He's got Cam Brown, goes high. And that is over Cam Brown. Pat Walsh last year in his insurance switched to State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo. Saved $1,100 on his insurance.
Okay, here we go, Tom. You got Nick Dempster.
Into punt
For the first time this season.
Nick Dempster, who scored a huge goal to secure the district soccer championship against DeSmet last night. He scored with his head. I would say let's see what he can do with his foot, but we actually see that quite often in soccer as well. So the justice of that comment would have been wasted. Dempster pulls it in. The catch is the part you'd worry about with him.
Nice
Punts
punt.
it. He rips that thing, and that's bouncing out of bounds.
About the 18, 19-yard line right there.
18, 19-yard line. Solid punt from Nick Dempster. He gets a lot of love from the coaching staff.
It's like about 47-yard punt, so that's a pretty nice little deal. That took off his foot. It wasn't the prettiest look off his foot, but considering that was his first ever high school kick or play that I'm aware of, that was pretty nice. So let's see what CBC's defense has here with 5:30 left to go in the game.
Well, you can actually watch Nick playing soccer on Tuesday. As the Cadets take on Zumwalt West. Snap to Harris. Harris over to Zerwig. And Zerwig is hauled down. Nice job there by Jaden Brown to bring him down. And 5 minutes and 18 seconds, 7-point deficit. The Griffins with a long field, courtesy of a Nate Dempster punt. Nick Dempster. I can't even get his name right. It's the wrong sport.
Oh, wrapped up.
Oh, brought down. And was that FaZe again?
Yeah, but that play is set up by Austin Simpson. Austin Simpson comes off the field and cuts up on the outside of the offensive tackle, forcing Tion Harris to cut underneath when he's trying to get to the edge. And as soon as he does that, you see the CBC defense just fold underneath that play, and Tion Harris has no place to go.
4:40 on the clock. Harris. Pressure rolls left. They're going to call that a catch. Impressive by Zerwig. There was Cam Brown forced him out of bounds. Looked like before his foot got down.
It's hard to tell. We're way over here, but
True.
Still a nice effort there by Zerwig, regardless of what really happened.
Tremendous bit of receiving. So that will move the chains. 1st and 10 for the Griffins at the 34-yard line. Pass over here to, that was Cheeks. And he's hauled down after a gain of about, what are they going to say, 5, maybe 6. Clock's still running. Clock is all purple and gold at this point.
Well,
But
you
a
know,
7-point lead is not enough. And you certainly don't want to create a situation where Vianney's scoring with no time left. So you really have to, if you are CBC, try to force this this turnover on downs here, try to force a punt, something. Get the ball back. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. You know, that's the thing. You know, Vianney's going to want to try to, you know, grind this down and score with his, you know, and they don't want to score too quick because they don't want to get the ball back to CBC. But at the same time, you know, CBC wants to just, you know, let them grind it down and hold out and hopefully get out of here with a 7-point victory.
Harris, far side, intended for Williams.
Going for Williams. Ball's a little low. Taylor Robinson went in for the big hit just in case, but I think had he had his head up and on the ball, he might have been able to snake that one and pick it off, in which case he might have been off for the races.
Inside of 4 minutes. 3rd and 10. No jumbo formation here. Too far to go. It's going to have to be in the hands of Tion Harris. It is.
Oh.
Harris is going to be brought down. Harris is brought down.
Elijah
Harris
Robinson.
is brought down. Elijah Robinson tag teaming there with Sean McCann to bring down Tion Harris on an absolutely crucial 3rd down. The Griffins needed that 3rd down. Right now it's 4th and 10, and they have a decision to make with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go.
Yeah, they changed some personnel here. I don't know if they're going – this looks like jumbo personnel, but I wonder if they're – I don't know if they can count on stop and CBC. They do. They go ahead and punt it, and this time we had Tyler Walton deep.
Pulls it in. Tyler Walton on the near side gets back to the 44 of the Griffins. So the Cadets have the ball in Griffin territory for 2:51. I have to imagine that Brian Bradford will be involved in whatever comes next for the Cadets.
The big issue is going to be is whether or not CBC can create some space for him. I mean, they're really, with the timeouts that Vianney has to burn to slow them down, CBC needs to stay in bounds, and they really need to get 1, maybe 2 first downs, and this game will be over. As you see a lot of people exiting the stadium at this particular point. But, folks, there's still a lot of football to play.
Including Jim Platt, who's working the broadcast
I think
tonight.
he's running around working today.
He is. You know him from the Cadet Student Network.
Oh,
fakes the handoff.
dear.
Gabbert fakes the handoff.
Well, that'll seal the deal.
And he goes. Touchdown, Gabbert. Everybody, including us, was expecting the handoff to Bradford. But instead, Gabbert pulls it down, and he makes a run for it. And if there were fans trickling toward the exits before, they're flowing now.
Look at Brett Gabbert. Talk about as many touchdown passes as he's thrown. I bet you none is bigger than that run for him. And now the Vianney faithful is
They're
starting to
south.
exit the building.
That is huge from Brett Gabbert. We mentioned you need to get Bradford involved. You want to kill the clock, give it to your workhorse, just let him grind out the rest of the game. Apparently that's what the Vianney defense was thinking too.
What do I know?
That is absolutely brilliant from the CBC coaching staff and from Brett Gabbert to pull that ball back.
Well, and I wonder whether or not that was him. You know, there's a lot of read run plays and stuff that CBC runs here on their run pass option stuff. And on that particular play, I wonder if that's a play that he has the option if he sees that backside guy chase too hard. And the way they've been chasing Bradford down from the backside and everything else, they had to be setting that up.
2 minutes and 41 seconds. There's an announcement that the Cadillac is about to be towed. But this has been a Cadillac of a game. CBC 42-28. We got a
Let's
replay
get a
for you.
replay here.
And there you see everybody.
Oh,
everybody.
my gosh. Yeah, that was a pull. He was ready to give it. And
there are 10 guys chasing Bradford. And nobody watches Brett Gabbert. This is our house chant from the CBC fans. There seemed to be some question before the game as to whose house it was based on the pregame antics. And CBC has answered in the proper way.
Now, there's still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game, and Vianney's shown the ability to score quickly in previous games. Here we go, that pooch again. This time he was ready for it.
And this is Ward.
And this is where you don't want to give it back to them in this situation and give them anything cheap.
Yeah, Ward forced out of bound by Jaden Huey. Got to start talking about...
The thing is, the CBC having one loss against CB Memphis, they're kind of playing for district seeding in this particular case. Now, Hazelwood Central still has to hold their end of the bargain up tomorrow against Riverview, but you know, if CBC were to have lost, it was very likely, though not guaranteed, that Hazelwood Central would have passed them up for the #1 seed, and that would have given Central a home field advantage throughout the playoffs through the district championship game.
2 minutes 34 to go. Tion Harris, ball in his hands. Fires it to the right side. Looks like that one is brought in by Cheeks.
On the ground, not able to get out of bounds. The clock will stop for just a short time while they set the ball and set the chains. You really want to force Vianney to eat clock in order to score. Even if they do score, it doesn't really matter at this point. They want to score, if nothing else, because they need to close those district points and make sure that an undefeated Poplar Bluff team doesn't pass them up in the district standings.
2:13. Harris pulls it down. He's going to get about he's going to get to about
7.
Yeah, 7. He'll set up a 2nd and 3. Clock goes inside of 2 minutes. Vianney does still have all 3 timeouts. They will not take one here. They want to make sure that they try to get that first score, at least get a scoring series potentially. Over the near side, good bit of receiving.
They're calling that a catch. I didn't see his feet.
They're calling that a catch. There's a flag in the backfield. Harris was on the ground. Elijah Robinson's looking very bemused.
But that's close to the line of scrimmage, Tom. They would have thrown that back where the penalty was.
They're going to call roughing the passer on Elijah Robinson. Now, I did not see it. I was looking over to the near-hand side at the catch. But that is, you hope that doesn't come back to cost CBC.
Well, especially since the last time, you know, earlier in the first half, that onside kick by Vianney gave them the ball in life. You know, so hang on, folks. This game's not over.
1:40 on the clock. 3 timeouts remain for Vianney. I don't think Harris was expecting the snap, but he got it. Throw across the middle to Zerwig. I don't think he made it all the way in. That's going to be down at the 1-yard line, probably closer, actually. So this ball is inside the 1-yard line. I've got a guess at formation here. They are going to bring out the jumbo formation. This snap will go to Williams. 1.5 minutes on the clock, still running. He's going to try right up the middle, and he's going to get it. That is a touchdown to Vianney. We are back potentially to a 7-point game with 1:23 to go. You got to imagine we see the onside kick, which they have already pulled off once tonight.
Now, mind you, CBC had the ball and they scored quickly. Here's a scenario for you. If you're Brett Gabbert, should you have slid inside the 5-yard line and gotten down inside the 1 or 2 and allowed yourselves to eat clock on the goal line. Did you score too quick and give Vianney a chance to, score here, take their shot at the onside kick with still 1:23 left in the game?
Again, the wisdom of that decision will depend really on the outcome of the game, you hate to say. But in that situation, you still got over 3 minutes to go. So there is a lot of clock remaining. What happens if you take the knee, you don't get the points, you turn over, fumble, something like that, all of a sudden it's a 7-point game, and you got 3 minutes remaining for Vianney. So you can see both sides of it. And again, if it works, it's brilliant. If it doesn't,
interestingly enough, though, that a lot of the Vianney faithful flocked out of here, and here we are right back into it. You got to wonder if they're able to follow the game, whether they're going to try to get back in here to see the end of this. So
1 minute and 23 seconds to go in what has been an MCC thriller. The MCC title is on the line. An undefeated season for Vianney is on the line. An undefeated conference and in-state record for CBC is on the line. District seeding is on the line. Pride is on the line. This is what you want in high school football, and we've got 1 minute and 23 seconds of it awaiting you here on CSN. We get carried away a lot, but we can't do this without all of our sponsors, so we do want to say thank you again to a lot of our sponsors, to Tim Kylo, Mercy Healthcare, East Bay, TJ's Pizza, Chick-fil-A. I don't think I'm leaving anybody out, but I want to make sure. The CBC Admissions Department is a tremendous sponsor to us. They're very, very good to us, and we thank them. Events like the auction, so many people that help make these broadcasts possible, as well as our students in the booth. We got Mason Jenkins over here, James Moats, Charlie Hines, Scott Rice, Max Adamski, Joe Cunningham. These kids are talented. We couldn't do it without them, so thank you to everybody. And thank you at home for joining us, wherever you are, and enjoy the next 1 minute and 23 seconds of gameplay. There's the onside kick. Nice job by CBC. That looked like it was that Andrew Speltz, number 53?
No, that's 59. That's
59.
Josh Floor, the offensive tackle. So, and he had a little bit of a rough night at times against Nate Thurman and Weary. So
Plore recovers the onside kick for CBC. Crucial moment there. 1:20. That took 3 seconds. Got to say, some impressive athleticism from Plore. That's a full-on extension diving. In soccer goalkeeping, we call that an extension dive, and that was one of them.
He's a pretty talented young man.
Play clock goes to 16 as the Cadets get their signals sorted. Two backs alongside Gabbert. Brown on the near side. Walton on the far side. The handoff is to Bradford. He's going to get maybe one, but more importantly, he's going to eat time off the clock, and we're going to see Vianney take a timeout.
All righty, looks like DeSmet got their first win of the year, a 38-31 win over Helias. So that's a big win for that program. SLU was losing at one point 49-28 to Jackson. So a couple of conference games going on, and the Rittner-Kirkwood game was 17-14 at one point. I haven't looked at the score in a while. I haven't had time to look at any scores in the second half time. This has been too electric of a game, too much pressure. I've sitting here shaking half the time. I teach half these kids, and the ones I don't teach, I either coached or had an advisory or whatnot. And when you got a relationship with all these kids like we do, you want to see them be successful because, regardless of all the rhetoric that you saw and the posturing and some of the stuff, these are great kids on both sides that are just laying it on the line for their schools.
1 minute and 13 seconds. The wind stiffening in the faces of the Cadets.
CBC really just needs to bust off a first down here and force Vianney to burn timeouts and hope that that's enough.
42-35. 2 timeouts remaining apiece. I think Vianney will be a little more eager to use them than the Cadets will. Gabbert, handoff inside to Bradford. Bradford gets the first down. That is a massive first down for the Cadets. That is absolutely massive. Again, 2 timeouts remaining for Vianney. Now, Mr. Maris, you're the math teacher here, so I'll let you do the math. But
I'm not good at this one, but go ahead.
They are with the 2 timeouts. You are not going to be able to run the clock down without running a play.
Now, interestingly enough, they're not burning the timeouts here. I wonder if the first down put Coach Day in a position to say, okay, we can't do this.
It's a concession almost.
You know, and you get to a point in time as a coach, you never want to quit, and you're not really quitting, but you also want to be real, and you don't want to put your kids in a position to get hurt in a bad situation.
And there we saw Vianney coming across the line.
So they
Really
burned a
well-timed
timeout here.
blitz.
Okay. I think they were trying to force us to snap there, maybe bust us up in the backfield, force a turnover.
I think
and
they were
Brett
trying
did
to.
a nice job there to get out of the way. So
Yeah, I think they were trying to force that turnover, maybe get Brett to bobble it or drop it, see if you can get a ball. Looked like they came right on the hands of Gabbert. You can see him kind of looking down at his hands, but he looks like he's okay.
now I don't know. I gotta give a shout out. My wife and my younger son were here at the game, but then they had to run to the airport to pick up some family. My wife tends to run these games through her phone on the car. So Sawyer and Dana, if you're listening, I hope you are safe after picking up the family, and I'll see you back here to pick me up soon enough. We're still running with 39 seconds left. If I look over, it looks like we're still running with about 517 people watching this game. And I got to thank you. It's a great testament to what we do here on Cadet Student Network.
And the Cadets take the field. One timeout remaining for the Griffins. Will they use it? 39.3 seconds to go. 7-point lead for CBC. They're going to try to anticipate again, and the Cadets draw them off sides. I think they were eyeing up Gabbert on that one.
Well, you know, they're trying to time the snap. They're trying to get through and disrupt something and maybe force a turnover, beat that snap, and you know, create some problems for CBC. And, you know, nice job there. Nice poise by CBC to hunker down in there and, allow them to get that offsides. Boy, Josh Plore is down and ready to play football right here. He's ready to finish this deal.
2nd and 10. You'd expect the same thing from Vianney here. CBC sorting out the blitz down the middle. We get a flag here. They're going to get a false start against the offense as they were talking to the bench.
Somebody, I think he's talking to offensive lineman, put his hand down and picked it back up. I'm not sure who that was. But
well, things being as they are.
People booing and whatnot, it doesn't really matter much at this particular point. It's all about getting these last few snaps played out. Yeah, you're a little bit closer for that first down there, and that would really ice the game. But
here we go. 2nd and now more than 10. Handoff inside. Good run here by Higgins.
Go down, go
Still
down,
going.
go down.
He is still going. Finally, he's going to go down with 30 to go.
It's a situation where you just want to go to the ground. Now, interestingly enough, Vianney is waiting to burn this timeout. I don't know what they're doing.
They may not use it.
He's calling them over.
They're not going to use it. The Cadets are victorious in a huge, huge conference game right at the end of the season. Last regular season game, you clinch the MCC title. What can a gritty win like this do for the Cadets?
Well, it's huge going in because that's going to ice more. You know, that's going to ice the number 1 seed in the district, which means CBC through the next 4 games, 3 or 4 games or whatever it is, will have home field advantage. So we'll see you next Friday night against either McClure North, against
Yeah, shout out to Bill Belcher.
Bill Belcher,
in the
CBC
booth, basically.
alum, Hall of Famer, and everything like that. But
We got Mr. Judd over here as well.
we got Rich Judd.
This is a
and
good one for
Jim
all the
Belcher,
alums.
so
All the alums, all the CBC community who are joining us. We want to thank you
Rocky's
for joining
on
us.
there.
Last thing we got to do in this broadcast, of course, is give our Player of the Game award, which is tough in a game like this where it's a team performance. Can you
gotta
pass
be.
up a guy with?
4 receiving touchdowns, and
It has to
they
go to
didn't
Cam
throw
Brown.
him. It's got to be Cam Brown.
So congratulations to Cam Brown. You are our Player of the Game. I want to thank you for joining us. A couple things upcoming on CSN we want to make sure you know about. Starting Monday, you can stream The Fantastics from our award-winning performing arts program. And next Tuesday, we will have soccer for you against Fort Zumwalt West. And next Friday, love the sound of it, we will have playoff football. For all of us here at CSN, we want to thank you for joining us. Again, Tom Eichwald alongside Chris Morris. I do a lot of soccer with Tim
Yeah,
Morris.
I know you do.
Chris Maris, sorry, Chris. But also Joe Cunningham, Jimmy Moats. We got Mason Jenkins. We have Max Adamski, Charlie Hines, and Scott Rice. I'm not going to forget him again. So many kids making the broadcast possible. Thank you for joining us.
I don't have much to say. It's just an emotional win, and I'm happy for CBC here going forward that they're in a position here to be in the driver's seat in the district, and we'll see what our fortunes bring as we work our way through the playoffs.
So congratulations to the Cadets on a gritty and determined win, a big one and an emotional win. Great game to watch. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us, and everybody, stick around. We'll see you on Tuesday for some soccer. Have a good night, everybody.